Chapter 1081. Star Scripture Tai Yu Chapter. Inside the God-King battle space. Yi-chun was unaware at this moment that on a divine mountain in the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, two cosmic emperors were watching him, watching Long Li. Yi-chun was even more unaware of the waves stirred in the hearts of these two emperors by the words of the Northern Territory King. At this time, as Yi-chun was still waiting for the battle to start, he couldn't help but recall the cultivation experiences shared with Zhang Yao and Long Li on the original Spirit Source Star. My cultivation speed is already terrifying. I didn't expect Yaoer to not fall behind much, and now her power isn't much different from mine. That girl Lear is even more terrifying. Her cultivation speed is faster than mine, and her power can practically obliterate me instantly. Recalling the scene when he sparred with Long Li on the original Spirit Source Star, Yi-chun couldn't help but smile wryly. At that time, he wanted to see the combat power of Long Li, who had reached the immortal divine venerable realm, and how much improvement she had made. Unexpectedly, Long Li quietly asked him how much power she should use against him. This question left Yi-chun speechless. Clearly, Long Li thought defeating Yi-chun was incredibly easy. Of course, Yi-chun let Long Li attack freely. In the end, even though he was now an upper god king capable of defeating Dominion-level figures, Long Li, who could also battle across great realms in the immortal divine venerable realm, knocked Yi-chun to the ground in a mere gesture. Yi-chun could sense that Long Li didn't want him to be injured. Otherwise, she might have killed him with one move. Yi-chun further felt that Long Li's current strength was likely more terrifying than many 9-star sovereigns. This left Yi-chun immensely astonished. After all, Long Li was younger than him and had progressed so rapidly in realms and combat power, reaching an unimaginable level. While Yi-chun's heart was filled with astonishment, Long Li noticed Zhang Yao was not nearby and quietly approached Yi-chun, whispering, "Yi-chun, I won't let anyone else hurt you. I will definitely become even stronger." The little girl's earnest expression left Yi-chun both amused and touched. In subsequent conversations with Long Li, Yi-chun also learned that Long Li likely hailed from an unimaginable origin. However, Long Li herself hadn't fully understood the specific situation, and Yi-chun had only gathered a general idea. Yi-chun only knew that the secrets surrounding Long Li were no less significant than his own. Merely the fact that Long Li's Star Luo God Ring could activate his star's tower and that she could also enter the Zishuan treasure palace, into which Zhang Yao had entered, was enough to imagine the level of secrets she held. Yi-chun was, of course, extremely happy about Long Li's strength. After all, she was one of the two girls closest to him. Of course, Yi-chun didn't want to forever lag behind Long Li's combat power. He was inspired by Long Li to train even harder. Lear said she has cultivated the astonishing cultivation technique, Heavenly Pulse 9 Arts, hidden in the Star Luo God Ring to the 8th art. That Heavenly Pulse 9 Arts is a cultivation technique exclusively for her, which can only be cultivated through the Star Luo God Ring. Just like my primordial star scripture can only be cultivated through the Star's Tower. Lear made a major breakthrough. Recently, on the original Spirit Source Star, I've also made a significant breakthrough. Yi-chun recollected the 2 years of intense cultivation. In these 2 years, I finally completed cultivating all 5 great divine patterns of the eternal God body. At the same time, I finally completed cultivating the 5th chapter of the primordial star scripture, Tai chapter. The first 5 chapters of the primordial star scripture are Gang Yuan chapter, primordial chapter, Taiyuan chapter, primordial beginning chapter, Tai chapter. The 5th chapter, Tai chapter, requires finding the divine blood of 7 high-level life races to illuminate 7 stars on the 5th level of the Star's Tower. Over the past more than 2 years, Yi-chun collected the last few types of essence blood stipulated and even found the essence blood of a dominion level that was not specified. Finally, all 7 stars were completely illuminated by him, and Yi-chun completed the Tai chapter in one fell swoop, able to harness the starry origin power from the 7 stars, raising his combat power to an incredible level once again. This is also one of Yi-chun's greatest trump cards for vying for the top 3 or even the first position in the final great cosmic God King battle. After all, Star Lord level inheritances may still be plentiful in the cosmic sea, but in this universe they are absolutely rare. Very few can cultivate to such a profound extent as imagined. Among them in the God-King realm, perhaps even fewer. Plus, Yi-Chun has not only the combat power of the first 5 chapters of the primordial star scripture but also the combat power of the eternal God body, and the combat power of the heavenly forbidden flame. Furthermore, there is also the combat power of Yi-Chun's recent entry into the 6th level of the Star's Tower, the combat power of the 6th chapter of the primordial star scripture. Back then, Yi-Chun's senior sister Qinglan had said that she was the only disciple her master ZG Star Lord taught the primordial star scripture to. She only cultivated to the 6th chapter and switched to other techniques because it wasn't suitable. When Yi-Chun successfully cultivated the 5th chapter Tai chapter and entered the 6th level of the Star's Tower, obtaining the 6th chapter's cultivation technique, only then did he realize the immense power of the 6th chapter. Primordial Star Scripture 6th chapter, Tai Yu chapter. A brand new chapter. A brand new cultivation method. After the Gang Yuan chapter, Primordial chapter, Taiyuan chapter, Primordial Beginning chapter, and Tai chapter, the 6th major chapter, the 4th chapter with the word Tai. The Tai Yu chapter, unlike the previous 5 chapters with clear stages of cultivation, such as the Primordial Beginning chapter for cultivating the primordial star within practicing the 5 great divine arts, and the Tai chapter for cultivating Tai divine power and lighting the 7 great stars. Once these stages are completed, the corresponding chapter is considered mastered. The Tai Yu chapter, however, can accompany Yi-Chun throughout his cultivation journey, potentially enhancing even to the Star Lord realm. In the Tai Yu chapter, the word Yu is fundamental. Yu represents endless space, the 4 seas and 8 wastes, and the infinite worlds of stars. The cultivation method in this chapter allows Yi-Chun to use the Tai divine power from the Tai chapter as a foundation to sense the space star apertures throughout the cosmos. ZG Star Lord explained that countless universes, even the cosmic sea, contain star apertures. These star apertures are points where unlimited starry origin power is released. ZG Star Lord specifically created the cultivation method of the Tai Yu chapter, which allows the continuous sensing of space star apertures to imprint the same origin star apertures within. The more space one comprehends, the more origin star apertures within, thus strengthening one's power. ZG Star Lord even mentioned that she ultimately comprehended countless universes, innumerable regions of the cosmic sea, elevating the star apertures to an incredible level, achieving a unified mastery with the 7th chapter of the primordial star scripture, reaching the ultimate Star Lord realm. By then, she realized that the primordial star scripture could still be further developed, but since she was heading to the azure sky star sea, she had no time to create further chapters of the primordial star scripture. The words left by ZG Star Lord on the 6th level of the Star's Tower also astonished Yi-Chun to the core. The Tai Yu chapter can continually be cultivated and improved, advancing even to the ultimate Star Lord realm. This fact leaves Yi-Chun extremely shocked. However, ZG Star Lord also clearly stated within the Star's Tower, without sufficient power, or if one cannot sense the space star apertures enough, continuing the cultivation of the 6th chapter of the primordial star scripture is challenging, easily stagnating at saturation within, unable to further sense space star apertures. His senior sister Qinglan Star Lord had to switch to another cultivation technique as she couldn't further enhance the origin star apertures within her and continue cultivating the primordial star scripture. This thought keeps Yi-Chun on edge. Yi-Chun has witnessed the strength of Qinglan Star Lord. If even Qinglan Star Lord couldn't successfully cultivate it, Yi-Chun naturally doesn't dare to be certain of his success in cultivation. The primordial star scripture requires the origin star apertures to be cultivated to at least the 8th extreme to activate the 7th and final chapter in the Star's Tower. According to the description of the primordial star scripture, with only the power of the origin star apertures, I could probably easily defeat masters, and even some cosmic emperors in the cosmic sea. The power of the 8th extreme is extremely hard to achieve. I should start from the 1st extreme and accumulate slowly. Upon obtaining the Tai Yu chapter, Yi-Chun began sensing the space star apertures and accumulating the power of origin star apertures within. Recently, Yi-Chun even successfully sensed the space star apertures of the original spirit source star, several space star apertures around the star continent, and even those of the Supreme Divine Institute. The power of the origin star apertures within him is already approaching half of the level of the first extreme. Although the later extents of the Taiyu chapter require accumulating more origin star aperture power, this cultivation speed is undoubtedly astonishing. Yet, Yichun does not know whether this cultivation speed is fast or slow. If Qinglan's Star Lord knew Yichun's cultivation progress, she would surely be utterly surprised. Qinglan's Star Lord took a long time to sense the space star apertures of just a single star continent, unlike Yichun, who finds it relatively easy, within the internal battle space of the God King selection battle. Recalling his breakthroughs, Yichun, who was constrained, suddenly thought, even if I'm bound, unable to move physically, and my divine soul is restrained within, the sensing of space star apertures in the Taiyu chapter of the primordial star scripture might still be unaffected. After all, the primordial star scripture is the divine art created by ZG Star-Lord, and the Star-Lord who crafted this space probably isn't as powerful as ZG Star-Lord. Let's try it. See if I can sense the space star apertures in this space and continue accumulating origin star aperture power, while others were still preparing for the imminent battle. Yichun, however, was ready to continue his cultivation right away. No sooner said than done. Yichun immediately used the method from the Taiyu chapter to condense the Tai divine power within, spreading it outwards. Upon spreading it out, Yichun discovered that his other powers were constrained, but the sensing of this Tai divine power was completely unhindered. It seemed as though the rules of this realm couldn't detect his Tai divine power sensing. In an instant, Yichun's Tai divine power spread across the entire continent, and Yichun could even see the millions of God Kings teleported to this continent, bound and unmoving. However, Yichun's attention was not on these people. He focused on operating the method to meticulously sense the space star apertures of this continent. After several hours, Yichun felt a sudden jolt in his heart. Within him, an extraordinary origin star aperture began to slowly condense. Chapter 1082. Yichun takes action. When Yichun began refining a new origin star aperture, time slowly passed by as well. The next day, the first stage of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, the internal selection battle within the Divine Kingdom, officially began. Boom! 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 At the instant the great battle officially commenced, the power that bound all the God Kings within the God King battle space vanished completely, allowing all the God Kings to feel free to move once again. Instantly, within the 100 battle spaces, on 100 continents, countless God Kings began to take action. With only 30 days of battle time, one must enter the top 100 within their respective battle space to have hope of advancing to the grand battle of 10,000 into 100. Everyone started desperately searching for opponents, defeating them, and seizing the merit points on them to improve their ranking. Even though the battle space continent was vast, the speed and explosiveness of the God Kings were so swift that they encountered each other almost immediately, leading to a great eruption of battles. In an instant, some had already seized victory points, and the rankings began to rise. Also, in an instant, some were eliminated. It has changed. The ranking on the shocking screen has changed. Almost as soon as someone seized merit points, the latest ranking results began to appear on the spectacular screens across various regions of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. Swipe, 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 swipe. The rankings continued to change. Even with over 1 billion God Kings participating in the internal selection battles in the Divine Kingdom, with each of the 100 battle spaces containing millions of God Kings. But the true strong ones only belonged to the topmost tier. Soon, the true strong ones emerged. Bingmeng, northern region of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom entry. Battle Zone, First Battle Zone, current points, 964 merit points. Yangxian, Supreme Divine Institute entry. Battle Zone, 18th Battle Zone, current points, 865 merit points. The rankings continued to change, but the names at the top began to stabilize, and as the battles went on, These people not only seized victory points from defeating their opponents but also took the existing merit points from their opponents, rapidly accumulating points. In the spectator area of the Supreme Divine Institute. At the moment the great battle began, Tower, Yi Chen's parents, Jiang Yao's parents and grandfather, along with other attendees, almost simultaneously stood up. They looked towards the shocking screen, but quickly realized that Yi Chen's name did not appear in the top ranks of the shocking screen. When they looked closely at the first battle zone where Yi Chen belonged, Yi Chen's name didn't appear in the top 100 of the first battle zone either. It was as if Yi Chen had vanished from the great battle, not even a trace of his name, as if he hadn't acquired a single merit point. What happened to the young master? On the Supreme Divine Institute side, they could only see the rankings and had no way of knowing the specific battle situation. Not seeing Yi Chen's name on the list caused Tower and others to become worried. Sovereign Jialan, on one side, saw the anxious looks on the faces of Yi Chen and Jiang Yao's family, and laughed. The whole internal selection battle within the Divine Kingdom, with 100 battle zones, will last a full 30 days. Yi Chen. Perhaps he hasn't even thought of making a move yet. There's no need for everyone to panic. Sovereign Jialan's words slightly eased everyone's minds. However, as the days passed by one after another, Yi Chen and Jiang Yao's family still saw no sign of Yi Chen taking action, leaving their hearts hanging without relief. Even though they knew Yi Chen's tremendous strength, battles always had unexpected occurrences, and without seeing Yi Chen's specific performance, they couldn't rest assured. Only those like Sovereign Jialan, who had witnessed Yi Chen's prowess firsthand, remained calm. Time flew by. Before anyone realized it, 29 days had already passed. By the 29th day, in the 100 battle continents of the God King battle zones, the top rankings were almost entirely determined, with few major changes, and yet Yi Chen's name was still absent. Even Sovereign Jialan was becoming restless at this point. What on earth is happening? Although Sovereign Jialan continued to reassure the families of Yi Chen and Jiang Yao, unease was creeping into his own heart. Not only Sovereign Jialan, but countless people from other places in the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom were paying attention to Yi Chen, all eager to see his achievements, but none of them saw Yi Chen appear on the ranking list. This left countless people feeling uneasy. What's going on? Isn't it rumored that Yi Chen is the strongest God King in our Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom? He even has hopes of ranking among the top in the final grand universe-wide battle of numerous divine kingdoms. How come he didn't even make it to the rankings in the internal selection battle of our own divine kingdom? Did something unexpected happen to him? Some who had never met Yi Chen began to disparage him. That Yi Chen might be someone who merely appears impressive but lacks real substance. Perhaps the rumors about him are all false. The Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom was immensely vast. The number of people who hadn't seen Yi Chen or the Star Domain God King ranking was innumerable. Many had only heard of some of Yi Chen's exploits, and seeing his lack of performance led them to begin losing hope in him. Thankfully, that Long Li truly is formidable. It's rumored she has a hope of achieving an excellent rank in the God-Venerable battle of the universe-wide final battle. And indeed, she possesses that strength. Now from the start of the internal selection battle of the Divine Kingdom, she's consistently been first. Looking at the shocking screens in numerous regions, aside from seeing the rankings of the Battle of the God Kings, one could also see the rankings of the God-Venerable battle and the True God battle. In the God-Venerable battle, in the 100th battle zone, Long Li's name stood prominently at the top, and she had left the second place far, far behind. It can be seen that almost every moment, Long Li's merit points begin to skyrocket. Clearly, every time Long Li encounters someone, she can defeat them and seize half of their merit points. Even on the 29th day, those remaining in the field are strong, with numerous merit points and formidable strength, yet they are entirely not match for Long Li. Long Li has gained the most acclaim in almost every corner of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, while Yi Chen in many places has started to be doubted by people. Among countless regions, only those in the Divine Mountain, including the Northern Territory King, Divine Kingdom Master, and the two great emperors, can specifically see the battle situation and know the current status of Yi Chen and Long Li. By now, the 29th day has passed, and the final day of the ranking battle among the 100 combat continents has arrived. Seeing the current battle results, the two great emperors in the Divine Mountain keep nodding incessantly. Long Li is truly very strong. It's feared she hasn't even used 1% of her combat power, and others are entirely not her opponents. The internal selection battle of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation is not really the stage for her to shine. Here, there's absolutely no one who can be her opponent, not even someone who can match her. Long Li can easily kill every divine venerable and sovereign of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation. What discerning eyes the two cosmic emperors have. They saw Long Li's extraordinary nature with each of her actions. Even they couldn't tell how many trump cards Long Li still has not played. However, when the crowd, who praised Long Li endlessly, looked at the other side of another light screen, they were puzzled. Yi Chun, why hasn't he moved at all? Others can't see the specific battle scenario, but the experts on this divine mountain saw Yi Chun's every move these past days. In the first few days, it could be seen that Yi Chun seemed to be cultivating. But later, he stopped cultivating completely, yet still remained in place, hardly doing anything. He wouldn't be unprepared to seize the rankings, would he? The sovereigns, divine masters, and even cosmic emperors have no doubt about Yi Chun's strength. But they were completely oblivious to the specific reason for Yi Chun's inaction. I also don't know what Yi Chun is thinking. Even Sovereign Xuechen, Northern Territory King, East Territory King, and others shook their heads. They don't know exactly what Yi Chun is waiting for. But they know Yi Chun definitely won't continue to be like this. After all, Yi Chun still needs to fulfill the third requirement of Sovereign Xuechen and Northern Territory King during the final confrontation of the Stellar Domain Genius battle across the universe. He can't just quit halfway with his strength. Let's wait and see, Sovereign Xuechen finally said. Then another half-day passed. In Yi Chun's combat continent, only a few thousand people remained. These few thousand are the strongest several thousand god kings, with many having similar strengths, all knowing that a battle with each other would likely result in mutual destruction. They spent the first 20 days eliminating weaker opponents and prepared to seize the top 100 ranks at the end. Only the strongest group has absolute confidence in grabbing the top 100 ranks, carefully waiting for the battle to end. Even the strongest group stayed far away from one particular area. That place is where Yi Chun meditates. That's Yi Chun. When they saw Yi Chun in the first combat zone, the strongest god kings of the first zone were utterly shocked. They knew Yi Chun could get the top ranks in the cosmic showdown battle of the god kings. So seeing Yi Chun in their battle zone was alarming beyond measure. Even the second strongest god king in the field, who could beat all others, did not dare to approach Yi Chun. He feared that Yi Chun would defeat him, leaving him unable to accumulate points for a higher rank, which would spell doom. However, what slightly relieved these strong individuals is that Yi Chun hadn't targeted them. Even until the last day, Yi Chun hadn't made a move, making everyone curious. Why hasn't Yi Chun taken action? Is he waiting until the very end to act? That's possible. The last individuals have many merit points. Even defeating the current first place could earn half the points and enter the top ranks. While everyone was puzzling over this, while the sovereigns, divine masters, and great emperors on the Divine Mountain were waiting, and while Yi Chun's family at the Supreme Divine Institute was extremely worried, Yi Chun moved. Boom! In an instant, Yi Chun flew from the ground into the void, followed by his voice, which began to envelope the entire continent. I'll give everyone the last 2 hours to determine the rankings. Then I will take action. At that time, all of your points will be halved, and you will be eliminated. If you haven't fought for a top rank by the time I act, and are ultimately eliminated by me, you can't blame me. Yi Chun's calm voice enveloped the entire continent, echoing in the ears of every god king still on the continent. Instantly, all god kings understood. Yi Chun wasn't unwilling to act previously. He was giving everyone a chance to grab the rankings first. If not, once he acted, everyone would be eliminated, and at that time, many might not achieve the rank they anticipated. Yi Chun possesses the ability to determine everyone's ranking. Chapter 1083. Unbelievable Strength. Yi Chun's words echoed throughout the entire battle continent, resonating in the ears of all the divine kings who had not yet been eliminated. In almost an instant, numerous divine kings who originally intended to stall for more time began to take action. That Yi Chun is preparing to eliminate everyone. We must seize enough merit points and squeeze into the top rankings before then. These divine kings did not doubt Yi Chen's ability in the slightest. They personally participated in the internal selection battles of the Star Domain Genius Battle God King. Of course, they had a clearer understanding of the battle of the God Kings than others. The more they inquired, the more they realized Yi Chen's power. In previous Stellar Domain Genius battles of Wanmu Mountain's Divine Kingdom, having a Divine King make it to the final round of the Cosmic Grand Finals, entering the top 10,000 was absolutely incredible. Entering the top 10 was almost unheard of, but Yi Chun ascended directly to the 4th place on the Star Domain God King ranking, surpassing countless unparalleled Divine Kings of Upper Divine Kingdoms, practically a myth of Wanmu Mountain's Divine Kingdom. Plus, just earlier, Yi Chen's words enveloped the entire continent. This continent was crafted by a great power holder, and among the divine kings present, let alone enveloping the entire continent with their words, only a few could even manage to cover 1%. Just Yi Chen's words resonating through the entire void made everyone present aware of Yi Chen's strength. Under such circumstances, how could they dare to ignore Yi Chen's warning and fail to seize the chance to compete for a higher rank? Boom! Boom! The battle immediately erupted more intensely, and Yi Chun still remained floating in the void. His gaze took in all directions, as if he could control everything here. In the first 29 days, Yi Chun only spent 7 days to perceive and comprehend the space star aperture of this continent, and condensed a new origin star aperture within his body. After condensing the origin star aperture, corresponding to this continent, Yi Chun, who already could completely envelop this continent with his Tai divine power, found observing this continent even easier. Not to mention that Yi Chun remained unmoved. Even if only the few strongest divine kings remained in the field, Yi Chun was absolutely confident he could defeat them, snatch half of their merit points, and storm into the 100 finalists out of 10,000 ranking battle. Yi Chen's words were not heard by people in other regions of Wanmu Mountain's Divine Kingdom, but atop the Divine Mountain where the kingdom's ruler and great emperors resided. Everyone clearly heard Yi Chen's words. Upon hearing Yi Chun say he would soon begin eliminating everyone, yet granting others the chance to compete for ranking first, East Territory King laughed heartily. Young friend Yi Chun, truly confident beyond measure. I wondered why he hadn't moved before. Turns out he's giving others a chance to not eliminate the stronger divine kings too early. Northern Territory King and Sovereign Xuechen both smiled slightly. They were previously worried that Yi Chun had other plans. Now it seems all concerns were unnecessary, as long as Yi Chun was willing to fight. Northern Territory King and Sovereign Xuechen had not the slightest doubt in Yi Chen's strength. Those two great emperors, upon hearing Yi Chen's words, nodded and smiled. We've witnessed Long Li's prowess. We must thoroughly see Yi Chen's strength next. If he can indeed eliminate everyone with as much ease as Long Li, the prospects for Wanmu Mountain's Divine Kingdom this time are truly promising. 2 hours simply went by in the blink of an eye. At this time, in the first battle area where Yi Chun was located, only a few hundred people remained, and the ranking in the first battle area was essentially fixed. Those able to break into the top 100 dared not battle others of similar strength, for fear of losing half their merit points, dropping down the ranks. Those who couldn't make it into the top 100 had already pushed themselves to their limits under Yi Chen's urging and couldn't improve any further now. It was now time for Yi Chun to fight. Almost in the blink of an eye, originally seated cross-legged in the void, Yi Chun suddenly vanished from his spot. In the next moment, a divine king, previously ranked 20th in a region thousands of miles away, found Yi Chun standing before him. Yi Chun. Seeing Yi Chun appear, this divine king was utterly startled. Yi Chun smiled and said to this divine king, "Don't worry, once you're eliminated, you'll lose half your merit points. Others will lose half their points too. Your ranking would drop at most 1 position because of me. Are you prepared for battle?" This divine king, Xian Ning, with his mind and spirit in a frenzy, said to Yi Chun, my friend, I am Xian Ning, ready to experience your mighty prowess. Boom! Knowing Yi Chen's extraordinariness, he acted first, unleashing his divine power in a torrent. After this divine king made his move, Yi Chun then acted. However, Yi Chun merely pointed a finger at this divine king. Puff! The attack combat skill of the eternal god body's wind divine pattern was directly launched. In one move, that divine king, who had eliminated countless others and held the 20th rank in the first battle area, was directly eliminated by Yi Chun. In an instant, Yi Chun claimed half of this divine king's merit points, simultaneously accumulating a victory point. Yi Chen's rank instantly stormed into the top 100. As Yi Chun eliminated the first opponent, his name also appeared with a swift whoosh into the top 100 rows of the first battle area on the shocking light screens across various regions of Wanmu Mountain's divine kingdom. The myriad people focusing on the shocking light screens immediately saw this abruptly appearing name. Upon seeing the name was Yi Chun, everyone's hearts skipped a beat. Yi Chun has started fighting. The real surprise was yet to come for these people. Following that, in just a blink, Yi Chen's name jumped forward again. Yi Chun eliminated another person ranked 16th, once again seizing half of the merit points. Yi Chen's ranking directly surged into the top 50. And it didn't stop there. Following that, the ranking on the sensational light screen in the first combat zone changed rapidly. And with each change, the rankings of others fell while Yi Chen's name rose quickly. Yi Chen's name shot upward like an aurora. 49th place, 38th place, 17th place, 3rd place, 1st place. Yi Chun was simply unstoppable. He said he would eliminate everyone still in the arena, and he absolutely would eliminate everyone. Even the God King, who originally ranked first from the northern region of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom in the arena, was no match for a single move from Yi Chun. Yi Chun merely took action for over 20 minutes to eliminate the remaining hundreds of God Kings in the arena, and his merit points, in an instant, skyrocketed to an unbelievable extent, dozens of times higher than the 2nd place. 1st place. After eliminating everyone else, Yi Chun directly became first. The God King battle of the internal selection station of the Divine Kingdom, 1st combat zone, 1st place, Yi Chun. Wow. When Yi Chen's name reached 1st place, countless areas in the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom were abuzz. Those who originally defamed Yi Chun, thinking he was all show and no substance, felt their faces burning with shame. They finally realized that the legendary strongest God King of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom was indeed the strongest, indeed the myth of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. With one move, he quashed all directions. With one move, he was unmatched. At this time, the watching area of the Supreme Divine Institute was even more jubilant. Originally, when Yi Chun made no moves earlier, his parents, Zhang Yao, family members, and even Sovereign Jialan and others were extremely worried about him. The moment they saw Yi Chun break into the top 100, they were completely relieved. And when Yi Chun quickly ascended to the 1st place on the leaderboard, it made them incredibly excited. Tower couldn't help but jump up. Unlike the jubilant scene across various areas of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, on the Divine Mountain where the King of the Divine Kingdom and 2 great emperors resided, the powerful figures who clearly saw the entire combat process of Yi Chun fell silent. After a long while, a great emperor finally spoke. This Yi Chun truly lives up to being the talent whom Long Li admires dearly, truly extraordinarily strong. Eliminating all the God Kings on the continent he belonged to with just one move, and using only the same move. No one was a match for him with just one of his moves. No one even forced him to use a new move. We all recognize that move. It is the attack method of the Wind Divine Pattern from the Eternal God Body of the 5 great divine patterns. Seeing his use of it, he probably has successfully cultivated the Eternal God Body that many sovereigns can't succeed in cultivating. And observing him using that move, it is likely just his most basic method, and his most shocking methods have not even been used yet. The words of this great emperor made others nod deeply. Another great emperor said, just with Yi Chen's demeanor, he truly has the strength to secure a top spot in the final battle of the Star Domain Genius Battle God King War. I can't wait to see his performance in the final battle of the entire universe now. Like Long Li, the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom is too small. The people here are simply not his match. No one can be his match. The real surprise for these great power holders was yet to come. In the first 30 days, each of the 100 combat zones selected their top 100. Starting from the 31st day, the 100 combat zones merged, with each of their top 100, totaling 10,000 people, competing in the Great Combat Zone for the top 100 in the internal selection battle of the Divine Kingdom. This battle lasted for 10 days. Shortly after Yi Chun seized first place in the first combat zone, the first 30 days of competition completely ended, and the merging of the 100 combat zones commenced directly. And after the 100 combat zones merged into one Great Combat Zone, the 10,000 remaining in the arena once again began competing for the top 100. This time, Yi Chun, as in the first combat zone earlier, did not take any action. In fact, Yi Chun directly stated at the beginning to let others take action first. And Yi Chun, directly while countless others were fighting, began to comprehend the space star aperture of this new merged Great Combat Zone. Even if Yi Chun was in the middle of comprehension and cultivation, none of the remaining 9,999 God Kings dared to provoke Yi Chun or disturb his cultivation. And when the last day of the 10-day competition moment arrived, Yi Chun took action again. This time, even when facing the top 100 God Kings from various combat zones, Yi Chun still did not employ new methods. He still relied on the Wind Divine Pattern Attack method from the Eternal God Body to eliminate everyone and once again ascended to the final first place. He seized directly the top position among the top 100 representing the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom to participate in the Star Domain Genius Battle God King War of the entire universe. The stage of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom was way too small for Yi Chun. The entry card to the grand final battle of the entire universe was already in hand. The truly glorious battle belonging to Yi Chun was about to begin. Chapter 1084, Ancestral God Boat, Star Sea Coin. The internal selection battles within the Divine Kingdom, the Battle of the True Gods, the Battle of the God Kings, and the Battle of the Divine Venerables are all conducted simultaneously. When the Battle of the God Kings concluded, the other two battles also ended simultaneously. Everyone within the 3 battle spaces was ejected, and ultimately they all gathered together. 3 lists shimmering with divine light appeared in front of everyone. The lists showed the final ranking results of the 3 battles. The top 100 from each list would represent Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom to participate in the universe-wide final battle, the Stellar Domain Genius Battle. Looking at the top 100 of each list, it's noticeable that the lists are primarily occupied by geniuses from the major powers of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. Most represented on the lists are disciples of the Supreme Divine Institute, followed by the geniuses of the nation's capital. Also included are the Divine Institutes from the East Province, West Territory, Southern Territory, Northern Region, and disciples from the 3 major forces of the Divine Kingdom. Among the 4 great forces of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, Divine Dragon Mountain, located in the East Province, has completely fallen from the top 4 due to the incident involving the Divine Dragon Mountain sect Master Qin Yuntian, with not a single disciple making it to the top 100 of the 3 lists this time. As for the other 3 major forces, located in the West Territory with Tai Yun Heaven, the Southern Territory with Divine Miao Peak, and the Northern Region with Danxia Valley, many disciples were selected. Yi Chun was quite familiar with these 3 major forces. Back when he participated in the 9 Divine Institutes examination, he interacted with numerous geniuses from the 3 major forces. The East Territory King once told Yi Chun that among the 4 major forces, Divine Miao Peak was the most powerful, ranking as the top transcendental force, while the other 3 forces had no 9-star sovereigns, yet Divine Miao Peak had not just one. However, Divine Miao Peak seldom intervened in internal affairs of the Divine Kingdom. Yi Chun only interacted with people from Divine Miao Peak back then due to reasons involving Elder Kudu. Among the 9 Divine Institutes examination contestants, Xuaningning from Divine Miao Peak was the only genius girl able to fight Yi Chun. She only lost to Yi-chun and claimed second place in the 9 Divine Institutes examination. However, this time, for some unknown reason, Yi-chun did not see Xuanningning's name in any of the 3 battles. It is possible that the girl's fate had changed, and she did not participate in this internal selection battle of the Divine Kingdom. But despite not seeing Xuanning from Divine Miao Peak, Yi-chun saw other names from Divine Miao Peak. On the True God list, the first-ranked Mo Xiaohan was precisely a girl from Divine Miao Peak. Yi-chun also noticed that little provincial princess Fang Luo was on the True God list, ranked 7th. Over the years, Fang Luo had advanced her cultivation to become a 9 Tribulations True God, with guidance from the East Territory King as well as cultivation techniques passed on by Yi-chun. Along with her extraordinary talent, claiming a top 10 spot among the 100 powerhouses of true gods was unsurprising. As for the God King list and Divine Venerable list, Yi-chun prominently occupied the first place on the God King list. Long Li prominently occupied the first place on the Divine Venerable list. As soon as everyone emerged from the battle space, many scrutinized the 3 lists in front of them. The true gods, God Kings, and Divine Venerables who won the top 100 recognition on the 3 lists were indescribably excited because reaching the top 100 meant that they could go to the Ancestral God Temple, arranged realm to participate in the universe-wide Stellar Domain Genius Battle Final. Even though many knew that they might not achieve a good result in the universe-wide final battle. Yet, being able to witness such an event would surely be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Those who obtained the qualification for the universe-wide final battle were incredibly enthusiastic, while the true gods, God Kings, and Divine Venerables who failed in the internal selection battles were all sullen, enviously looking at the top 100, with many gazes focused on Yi-chun and Long Li. Yi-chun. Once out, Long Li saw Yi-chun and directly flew over to him. Despite the eyes of many, Long Li was a bit shy. However, with Jiang Yao not by her side, she possessed more courage and directly took Yi-chun's hand. Yi-chun held Long Li's small hand with one hand and touched her hair with the other, as they both watched the list results together. Yi-chun, Long Li. While the two were examining the list, little provincial princess Fang Luo also came running to Yi-chun's side. Upon seeing Yi-chun and Long Li's hands clasped together, the little provincial princess smiled broadly and winked at them. Yi-chun. At this time, another group approached Yi-chun. Yi-chun looked over. It was a group of female true gods, God Kings, and Divine Venerables. Could they be from Divine Miao Peak? While Yi-chun was speculating, the one at the forefront, also the youngest female true god, directly smiled at Yi-chun and said, Yi-chun, my name is Mo Xiaohan. My elder sister told me many times that Yi-chun is amazing. I didn't expect to meet Yi-chun personally this time. Mo Xiaohan? The girl who took first place in the internal selection battle true god contest within Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom? Yi-chun examined the female true god before him and guessed her bone age couldn't be more than 16. Indeed, Divine Miao Peak favored producing talented female disciples. Your elder sister is Xuanning? Yi-chun asked with a turn of divine sense, smiling and nodding at Mo Xiaohan. Yes, Mo Xiaohan nodded and said, my elder sister and I may not be blood-related, but both of us trained under our master. She was taken by our master to train elsewhere not long ago. Otherwise, she could have participated in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle God King battle with you, Yi-chun. Chapter 1085. While the people on Divine Miao Peak were conversing with Yi-chun, folks from East Province, Northern Region, the familiar Mu King Mansion, and many unfamiliar to Yi-chun were also engaging in conversation with him. Yi-chun and Long Li were like two peerless divine stars of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. The two together naturally attracted everyone's attention and desire to connect, as people conversed and awaited further arrangements from Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. The two great emperors within the Divine Mountain where the ruler of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom and other sovereigns resided directly said to the ruler, leave the matter of taking these young ones to participate in the cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle to you all. The two of us will wait for you at the Starry Sky Waterfall. After speaking, the two great emperors gazed far ahead towards where Yi-chun and the others were. As if transcending endless distances, they seemed to perceive Yi-chun and Long Li. The two nodded with smiles and without any visible action. They disappeared from the divine mountain. The two great emperors didn't know that when they were looking at Yichun and Longli unconsciously moved her hand which held Yichen's, and as if sensing something, she glanced back at the direction of the divine mountain after the two emperors vanished. We should also prepare to depart. It's time to tell these young ones about the cosmic final battle of the stellar domain genius battle. After the departure of the two emperors, the ruler of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom also stood up, nodded to the other sovereigns, and together they disappeared from the divine mountain. In the next moment, the space where Yichun and others stood was torn open, and the group including Sovereign Yantian, the ruler of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, emerged from it. Sovereign Yantian, the Northern Territory King, and others first clasped their fists and saluted in front of the figures of the Divine Masters seated above the void at the entrance of the battle space. Countless sovereigns guarding the entrance also flew behind Sovereign Yantian, the Northern Territory King, and others. When Sovereign Yantian arrived before Yichun and others, the astonishing light screen from each realm of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom also showed the projection of the ruler confronting all geniuses. Countless people concerned with the internal selection battle of the Divine Kingdom were astonished when they saw the ruler, the sovereigns, and numerous geniuses appear on the light screen. But then, they all held their breath. These spectators knew, next, the ruler had an important matter to explain to these geniuses. In the realm of the battle space, at this moment, the ruler of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, Sovereign Yantian, directed his gaze towards Yichun, Longli, and numerous geniuses. He said loudly to everyone, "I am the ruler of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, Yantian. Many of you may have never seen me before. However, whether you've seen me or not, you are all part of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, and soon the top 100 true God, Divine King, and Divine Venerable among you will represent Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom to participate in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, where all divine kingdoms across the universe compete. Fighting for the glory of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom is up to you all. Now, I will tell you some things about the cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle." The ruler's words caused everyone to feel a surge of emotion, especially the 300 participants who secured a spot for the cosmic final battle, who turned their eyes passionately towards Sovereign Yantian. Regarding the matters of the cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, Yichun and Longli also listened attentively. Even the countless crowds from various realms of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom were stirred up. The ruler of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, Sovereign Yantian, continued, "This time, the cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle will take place in a special space of our universe. That space is called the Starry Sky Waterfall. When we returned from the splendid Star Sea, the ancestral god temple bestowed each ruler with an ancestral god boat, and only with the ancestral god boat can we find the way to the Starry Sky Waterfall. According to the rules of the ancestral god temple, 3 days from now, we will set out for the Starry Sky Waterfall to participate in the true cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle. At that time, true God, Divine King, and Divine Venerable representatives from other divine kingdoms will also head there. This Stellar Domain Genius Battle is entirely different from the past. Not only is the attention from the ancestral god temple unprecedented, but even the battle site is completely unlike before. Regarding how the cosmic talent competition will be conducted at the Starry Sky Waterfall, even I am not sure yet. The breathtaking rewards of this Stellar Domain Genius Battle, I believe you all have heard before, but I will tell you again. This time, as long as you can achieve a top 10 position in the True God Battle, Divine King Battle, or Divine Venerable Battle of the Cosmic Final Battle, you will be taken by the Ancestral God Temple to the Primal Beginning Universe to train, and may be bestowed with opportunities of Divine Master level, Overlord level, even Cosmic Emperor level. That Primal Beginning Universe is an infinitely mysterious place, and even as the ruler of a divine kingdom, I haven't had the chance to go in. Once you can enter, your future achievements may far exceed that of Sovereign or even Divine Master Overlord. At this point, Sovereign Yantian looked towards Yichun and Long Li. Amongst everyone present, Only Yi-Chun and Long Li hoped to secure a top 10 position in the cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle. Yi-Chun and Long Li exchanged a glance. Their mind and spirit moved. Primal beginning universe. Opportunities of divine master level, overlord level, cosmic emperor level. These breathtaking rewards they had already heard about some time ago. Even though both carried earth-shattering opportunities, they naturally did not wish to miss more cultivation opportunities. Of course, most of you may not make it into the top 10 or even progress through the later rounds of the cosmic final battle. Sovereign Yantian also added, but don't be discouraged. This stellar domain genius battle affects many things about our Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, even our status in the ancestral God Temple, distribution of resources in this universe, and the Divine Kingdom's sovereignty. Each of you who fights for Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom is our pride. Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom will also reward each of you. Anyone who can participate in the cosmic final battle will be given Star Sea coins or divine artifacts of equivalent value by Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. The farther you advance in the cosmic final battle, the higher the value of the Star Sea coins or divine artifacts you receive will be. These Star Sea coins are the universal currency of the Cosmic Sea and will be of great use when you venture into the Cosmic Sea in the future. Even if you can't use them now, you can opt for the divine artifact rewards. For the glory of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, for your cultivation resources, and for the family members living within Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, prepare yourselves to head to the Starry Sky Waterfall and seize the glory that belongs to you. Chapter 1086. Cosmic Ascetic. For the glory of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, for the training resources you seek, and for your families living in the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, prepare yourselves to head to the Starry Sky Waterfall and claim the glory that belongs to you. The words of the ruler of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation echoed outside the battle space, resonating in the hearts of every true God, divine king, and divine venerable about to participate in the stellar domain genius battle, the universal final battle. Indeed, strive, fight, seize the glory, for yourself and even more so for your divine kingdom. After all, since you were nurtured by the divine kingdom, you must undoubtedly bring it glory in the universal final battle. Not only did the 300 soon-to-be participants feel their hearts stirred, but people from other territories within the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, hearing the ruler's words through the astonishing light screen, were equally moved. These geniuses will bring glory to our Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation and should be heavily rewarded. I truly hope they can make the name of our Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation resound throughout the universe. I wonder if we'll be able to see the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, Universal Final Battle in our Divine Kingdom this time. I really hope to see our Divine Kingdom's geniuses competing among countless geniuses across the universe. After the ruler of the Divine Kingdom finished speaking, the East Territory King, Northern Territory King, Southern Territory King, and Sovereign Shuechen, among others, also stepped forward to encourage everyone. Afterward, everyone was led back to their respective regions. The span of 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. After completing the internal selection battle within the Divine Kingdom, Yi-Chun reunited with his family for 3 days. The time for him to set off for the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Universal Final Battle at the Starry Sky Waterfall had arrived. Yi-Chun and Long Li, amidst farewells from countless people, arrived early at the departure location, the capital area of the Divine Kingdom. Yaoer has completed the assessment of the 10,000 Beasts Domain Divine Kingdom, and she hasn't returned in the past 3 days. We'll have to meet again at the Starry Sky Waterfall. Looking towards the direction of the 10,000 Beasts Domain, Yi-Chun thought to himself. Yi-Chun, God King Yi. As soon as he arrived at the departure location, many who were about to set off together gathered around Yi-Chun. In the previous internal selection battle within the Divine Kingdom, these people of the same realm were still competitors, but upon heading to the Starry Sky Waterfall to participate in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Universal Final Battle, those from the same Divine Kingdom naturally became a united force, eager to compete against geniuses from other Divine Kingdoms. Brother Yi-Chun, Mo Xiaohan, who won first place in this True God selection battle from Divine Miao Peak of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, also arrived at the departure site and approached Yichun. Goddess Long Li. Divine Venerable Long Li. There were also many who greeted Long Li, standing beside Yichun. In no time, the top 100 of each of the three realms, totaling 300 people, had all arrived. Besides them, thousands of relatives of these 300, along with many people from the Divine Kingdom who had come voluntarily to send these geniuses off to participate in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, gathered at the departure area. Swish! 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 Soon after everyone had arrived, Sovereign Yantian of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, East Territory King, Western Territory King, Northern Territory King, Southern Territory King, Sovereign Shuechen, and a 9-star sovereign from Divine Miao Peak. All the sovereigns who were to accompany Yichun and others to the Starry Sky Waterfall were present as well. Prepare to depart. Seeing everyone assembled, Sovereign Yantian did not hesitate any longer and swung his hand wide. A remarkably extraordinary flying boat emerged directly from his sleeve. Ancestral God Boat. This flying boat was exactly the one given to each ruler by the Ancestral God Temple when they returned from the splendid Star Sea. Capable of taking them to the universal final battle location, the Ancestral God Boat. As the flying boat was launched, it instantly expanded from the size of a palm to a massive size spanning thousands of feet, hovering above the void heaven. Yichun noticed that this flying boat was unlike any mystic heavenly level or polar sky level flying boat he had ever encountered. Its material was a special blue-black composition he had never seen before, shimmering with an inexplicable stellar divine light, seemingly crafted from wondrous objects of the cosmic sea. At the front of the flying boat, a banner was hoisted high, with the words Ancestral God Temple written on the front, and a secret map of a mountain temple carved on the back. Everyone, board the flying boat. After activating the Ancestral God Boat, Sovereign Yantian addressed all those set to depart. Yichun, go for it. Young Master, we await your good news here in the Divine Kingdom. Long Li, bring honor to our Supreme Divine Institute. As the ruler instructed everyone to board the boat, those seeing them off began cheering and encouraging the geniuses about to depart for the grand battle. Finally, the same motivational words spontaneously arose from the plaza at the departure site. Bring glory to the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation. Prove the pride of our Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation in the universal final battle. The resounding cries stirred the hearts of the geniuses from the three realms, about to join the battle, prompting each to clench their fists involuntarily. Yichun and Long Li also exchanged glances, tightly holding each other's hands. The next moment, after bidding farewell to their families who came to see them off, the 300 geniuses set to participate in the cosmic grand battle all boarded the Ancestral God Boat, along with Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation sovereigns and other dignitaries. In the next instant, the flying boat ascended from the void, departing from the capital's territory of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, heading into outer space, toward the depths of the starry sky, under countless gazes. During the flight, Yichun, Long Li, and everyone else stood at the edge of the flying boat. Looking out from the Ancestral God Boat, they could clearly see the scenes passing by in the starry sky outside. This Ancestral God Boat, worthy of being the special flying boat crafted by the cosmic sea's powerful entity Ancestral God Temple, projected the outside scenery with unparalleled clarity, even allowing distant star seas to be comfortably projected inside the boat for everyone to see. The Divine Kingdom is already considered quite large. Yet the universe is even more vast. Yichun watched the star continents of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation grow smaller, as the flying boat gradually flew towards the depths of the starry sky, and couldn't help but voice his feelings. Long Li, standing beside Yichun, also gazed with clear eyes at the projected scenes outside the starry sky, saying to Yichun, "Indeed, a universe can be vast beyond measure. Without being a cosmic emperor-level entity, it is difficult even to traverse the entire universe. Moreover, outside of our universe, there are countless other universes, and in between, countless more vast and mysterious cosmic seas. This is the wondrous world of endless creation. While the two marveled, others likewise expressed wonder. Even strong figures like Sovereign Yantian, who had traveled through many divine kingdoms and numerous places in the universe, also watched the scenery outside, their hearts filled with inexplicable emotions. The direction of the ancestral god boat's flight was a path that none among them had taken before. Even Wanmu Mountain divine nations, Sovereign Yantian and others, had never been to the Starry Sky waterfall. Yichen noticed that the realm the ancestral god boat had flown through earlier felt familiar. It contained many star continents, be it Wanmu Mountain divine nations or those of other divine kingdoms they passed by, all quite similar. However, as the ancestral god boat flew towards deeper realms, the surrounding scenery became completely different. It felt as if the ancestral god boat had traveled from various divine nations into a special passage toward a special space. Yichun observed that star continents became rare in the depths of the starry sky. What met their eyes were mysterious and inexplicable stars. There were ancient tree stars, which dwarfed numerous star continents combined with their enormous ancient trees. There were colossal dead stars, whose bizarre shapes left Yichun astounded. Yichun even saw gigantic starry sky lakes, as if lakes were enlarged many-fold and placed in the starry sky. After the flying boat flew for several hours, it suddenly trembled, flying from the somewhat dark starry sky into layers of thick clouds. These clouds seemed spread across the starry sky, extending endlessly. They rolled with snow-white clouds, brilliantly shining stars resembling constellations, and extremely dazzling multicolored divine beads, leaving Yichun especially awestruck with thunderbolts as thick as star continents that descended from the heights of the sky, striking into the starry cloud sea. "There's someone inside." While Yichun observed this miraculous scene in the starry cloud sea, someone looked into its depths and cried out in surprise. Upon hearing, Yichun also gazed deeper into the cloud sea. The distant scene widened Yichun's eyes in shock. Yichun saw a giant he had never seen before, positioned deep in the starry cloud sea. This giant was likely larger than the biggest star continent Yichun had ever seen, surrounded by countless shining stars. More astonishing was the colossal thunderbolts, as thick as star continents, descending from the heights of the sky, yet each striking upon this giant's body. Purple lightning, brilliant stars, multicolored divine beads, and a giant bathing in the starry cloud sea. This sight was indelibly etched in Yichun's memory. This is a cosmic ascetic, a cosmic emperor-level entity activating the divine source original spirit to cultivate. Wanmu Mountain divine nation's sovereign looked at the giant deep within the starry cloud sea, eyes trembling, and spoke to the crowd. "Mu!" As the ancestral god boat flew past the edge of the starry cloud sea, the cosmic emperor giant cultivating within seemed to perceive something, directly opening his eyes to gaze at the flying boat. In an instant, everyone inside the flying boat felt an incredible divine sense as if it might probe each of them. At this time, the ancestral god boat's bow, bearing the ancestral god temple's flag, began to emit rings of divine light, enveloping the entire ancestral god boat and revealing the enigmatic mountain temple pattern on its flag. "So it's a matter of ancestral god temple's journey." The giant, upon seeing the ancestral god temple's secret map, nodded slightly, and his voice, echoing the entire star sea, reached everyone aboard. Then the giant closed his eyes again, sitting to cultivate further, and the flying boat continued to fly for quite some time, until finally it flew past the starry cloud sea, and after several more hours, could at last see from afar the destination, the Starry Sky Waterfall. Chapter 1087. Gathering under the Starry Sky Waterfall. As I gazed from afar at the Starry Sky Waterfall, I could see that it was even more enormous than the starry ocean I'd encountered before. The entire Starry Sky Waterfall seemed like a galaxy suspended upside down in the universe, with countless stars hidden within the waterfall. The water droplets cascading from the waterfall appeared not like ordinary droplets, but akin to divine starry origin droplets.
Magnificent. Vast.
This Starry Sky Waterfall was simply a miracle never before witnessed by Yichun. Yichun felt that this Starry Sky Waterfall was perhaps larger than countless divine kingdoms combined, and feared that standing within it, he would be as insignificant as a speck of dust. The waterfall descended from the depths of the cosmos, emanating mysterious halos. It was unknown where it originated from above in the cosmos, nor where the droplets below would fall. Aboard the ancestral godboat, Yi-chun could see the region of the starry sky waterfall from afar. But as the old saying goes, looking at the mountain tires the horse to death. The closer he flew towards the starry sky waterfall, the more he felt its vastness and the greater the distance seemed. Buzz! With the ancestral godboat continuously trembling, its speed increased significantly, and after a long flight, Yi-chun finally perceived that the flying boat he was on was gradually nearing the domain of the starry sky waterfall. After the ancestral god-boat flew into the area of the starry sky waterfall, it seemed like an ant crawling forward compared to the enormous starry sky waterfall. At this point, Yi-chun saw in the surrounding starry space waves of void ripples were also appearing, followed by ancestral god-boats emerging from various surroundings, all heading towards the core region of the starry sky waterfall. In Yi-chun's line of sight alone, there were no less than thousands of flying boats, and as they flew forward, more boats continued to pour in from behind. In our universe, there are a total of 43,697 divine kingdoms. Among them, there are 864 upper divine kingdoms, 7,985 medium divine kingdoms, and 34,848 lower divine kingdoms. These surrounding ancestral god boats, like ours, have come from other divine kingdoms to participate in the cosmic grand battle. As the flying boats flew, the sovereign Yen-tian, lord of the mountain divine nation, looked at the densely packed flying boats around them, swarming towards the starry sky waterfall like ants, and spoke to Yi-chun and the others. 864 upper divine kingdoms. Upon hearing the sovereign's words, Yi-chun felt his mind and spirit stir. Yi-chun knew that his own mountain divine nation belonged to a medium divine kingdom, an average existence in this universe. While stronger than some lower divine kingdoms, it was also somewhat mid to lower in the ranks of medium divine kingdoms. The heavenly wilderness divine country that provoked the Supreme Divine Institute before was an upper divine kingdom. Yi-chun hadn't expected that the number of upper divine kingdoms would be so many. It seems that in the stellar domain genius battle cosmic grand battle, I must strive harder to achieve a good record. Otherwise, helping the mountain divine nation gain enough merit will be very difficult among so many upper and medium divine kingdoms. While Yi-chun was contemplating, the flying boat approached a close position to the starry sky waterfall, even feeling the droplets of starry origin splash onto the flying boat. Suddenly, the flying boat halted. Not only did Yi-chun's flying boat halt, but the densely packed boats from other divine kingdoms also stopped at a certain distance, as if blocked by an indescribable force. If at this moment someone looked down from a high point above the starry sky waterfall, they would see the circles of halted ancestral god boats below, truly resembling rings of ant swarms gathered beneath the waterfall. What's happening? Just as the flying boats unexpectedly halted, many true god kings and divine venerables were puzzled when suddenly three figures flew out from within the starry sky waterfall. These three figures wore identical attire, with the designs on their garments strikingly similar to the flag pattern at the prow of the ancestral god boat. People from the ancestral god temple. Yi-chun immediately thought that these three were likely from the cosmic sea ancestral god temple. These are three masters. Upon seeing the three, the sovereign of the mountain divine nation's eyes widened in shock as he informed everyone. Master. Yi-chun knew, just like in divine kingdoms where there are true gods, divine kings, divine venerables, and sovereigns, in the cosmic sea, there are divine masters, cosmic emperors, and star lords. Masters are figures even stronger than divine masters. The general insha that Yi-chun saw initially was at the 8th level of the divine master realm, which had already amazed Yi-chun. The three masters before him were beings even stronger than those in the divine master realm. Even in the cosmic sea, they belonged to the middle-tier power, and now with three masters suddenly appearing before them, it was natural for everyone's attention to be completely drawn to these three great sovereigns. Once these three masters flew out from the starry sky waterfall, they immediately hovered above the countless ancestral god boats. One of them spoke towards the myriad boats arriving. The grand final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle has not yet begun. All arrivals will be arranged into 2 groups first. Each divine kingdom will have 300 participants. Please gather with me at the preparation area below the Starry Sky waterfall. The remaining sovereigns from each divine kingdom, please follow the other 2 masters into the viewing area within the Starry Sky waterfall to prepare for watching the Stellar Domain Genius Battle afterward. Now, both groups should disembark from the ancestral god boats. Once the master finished speaking, the defensive power of the ancestral god boat was withdrawn directly. With a series of whooshes, the territory kings and sovereigns aboard each flying boat descended along with their 300 participants. Yichun, Long Li, and others also followed Sovereign Yantian, the Northern Territory King, and others as they flew away from the ancestral god boat. Upon reaching outside the ancestral god boat, experiencing the immense grandeur of the Starry Sky waterfall falling from the sky at close range, Yichun felt an overwhelming sense of awe. Yichun even looked up and could not see the top of the Starry Sky waterfall at all. Yichun's previous feeling was spot on. What was falling from the Starry Sky waterfall were indeed not ordinary water droplets, but the starry origin fluid he was very familiar with. However, these starry origin droplets seemed to be restrained by a grand formation. Even if they fell into the stars, their energy could not be absorbed freely and plunged into nameless places. Even though Yichun had cultivated the Tai chapter of the primordial star scripture and felt the power of the starry origin, and now cultivated the Tai Yu chapter, capable of observing the space star aperture and forming the origin star aperture within, absorbing some starry origin power, he was unable to absorb the origin power of this Starry Sky waterfall. This Starry Sky waterfall is probably a great secret ground of the ancestral god temple. It's possible that the entire Starry Sky waterfall was crafted by the mighty Star Lord of the ancestral god temple, and unless its power is specifically released by the ancestral god temple, it can't be absorbed. Unable to absorb the starry origin power of the Starry Sky waterfall, Yichun was about to try comprehending the space star aperture here to gather the origin star aperture when the talking master summoned all participants to gather further below the waterfall. It seems I can only find time later to comprehend the space star aperture of this Starry Sky waterfall. Under the exhortations and instructions of the Territory Kings, East Territory King, Northern Territory King, and other sovereigns, Yichun could only, along with Long Li and others, fly towards the master. Yichun's team from Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom numbered 300, and each other Divine Kingdom's team likewise consisted of 300 per group. Soon, tens of thousands surrounded the master, with the numbers steadily increasing. It was evident that the Ancestral God Temple arranged for the Ancestral God Boat to bring these people here, and each Divine Kingdom arrived at roughly the same time. After the gathered numbers exceeded 1 million and the Divine Kingdoms had reached over 10,000, the master finally spoke. All right, the first batch of Divine Kingdoms has all arrived. Follow me to the land of Mish, below the Starry Sky waterfall, and wait for the start of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle. After speaking, the master opened his palm towards everyone, instantly enveloping millions of participants in unmatched stellar power. Yichun only felt himself protected by an inexplicable force, as if nothing around could harm him. In the next moment, Yichun felt himself passing through countless terrifying environments filled with star wind, flames, and more until he reached an infinitely vast platform. I fear that where I passed just now is the protective grand formation of the Starry Sky waterfall. While Yichun was pondering, Long Li tugged at his sleeve and said to him, Yichun, look quickly. Following Long Li's direction, Yichun saw that the enormous platform where the master had brought them was directly beneath the Starry Sky waterfall. Even looking up from the giant platform, one could see the Starry Sky waterfall's droplets falling into the sky several 10,000 zhang above the platform and disappearing. Apart from the Starry Sky waterfall above, there was also a series of gigantic lotus platforms in the center of this platform. These lotus platforms were shimmering with divine light, with endless spiritual energy surging atop them, as if these lotus platforms were incredibly divine treasure lands for cultivation. Yichun and his 300 companions were attracted to the lotus platforms in the center of the platform. Like Yichun, other participants from divine kingdoms who were brought to the outer edges of the platform focused their gazes on the lotus platforms in the center. Everyone felt that these lotus platforms were extraordinary. At this moment, the master who brought them here spoke again. This place may serve as the preparation area for waiting for the start of the stellar domain genius battle. However, the 180 Mish lotus platforms in the center of the platform are treasure lands for cultivation. You may enter them to cultivate. Of course, there are only 180 Mish lotus platforms, and each lotus platform is permitted by the ancestral god temple to be occupied by one divine kingdom's team. Therefore, if anyone believes that their divine kingdom among more than 10,000 has the qualification to sit on a Mish lotus platform, feel free to occupy it. The ancestral god temple allows each divine kingdom to send a representative to claim a Mish lotus platform. Naturally, if another divine kingdom wishes to seize an occupied Mish lotus platform, simply send a person of equivalent realm and defeat the representative occupying the Mish lotus platform, and the right to occupy it can be claimed. The contest for the Mish lotus platform only permits representatives from each divine kingdom to battle, and the battle cannot kill the opponent. As for injuring or defeating them, there's no restriction. Alright, the first batch of over 10,000 divine kingdoms quickly seize the Mish lotus platform, or else, after not a long time of cultivation, the next two batches of divine kingdom teams will arrive, and your chance of entering the Mish lotus platform to cultivate might become even lower. Chapter 1088. Undercurrents Rising. The master of the ancestral god temple is encouraging competition among the divine kingdoms. It's very likely that the purpose of this competition for the Mish lotus platform is to make the geniuses from various divine kingdoms realize that there are always others better than oneself, motivating everyone to cultivate more diligently. When the master finished speaking about the rules for seizing the Mish lotus platform, Yi Chun pondered in his heart. The Mish lotus platform is a cultivation treasure land praised by the master of the cosmic sea ancestral god temple. Clearly extraordinary. However, there are only a total of 180 platforms. Now, there are tens of thousands of divine kingdom teams present, competing for the 180 Mish lotus platforms for cultivation qualifications. Clearly, the vast majority of people have no chance to enter and cultivate. Most divine kingdoms can only stand by and watch. After the master finished speaking, people from various divine kingdoms looked towards the representative figures of their teams, clearly desiring to seize these cultivation opportunities. On the side of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, everyone's eyes were on Yi Chun and Long Li. This time, the 300 true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables from the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom were clearly led by Yi Chun and Long Li, being the strongest in their respective realms, with absolute strength as representatives to seize the Mish Lotus platform. Yi Chun, brother, should we seize the Mish Lotus platform? When the master urged everyone to quickly occupy the Lotus platform, the little provincial princess Fang Luo directly asked Yi Chun. The true god representative Mo Xiaohan of the divine Miao Peak, the disciples of the Supreme Divine Institute, and other geniuses selected from various places of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom also looked at Yi Chun. Yi Chun and Long Li exchanged a glance. Then Yi Chun's gaze landed on the Mish Lotus platform, and he smiled. Why not seize such a precious opportunity? Rest assured, no matter how many divine kingdoms are here this time, no matter how many upper divine kingdoms there are, one of those 180 Mish Lotus platforms must belong to the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. No one can take it away. Yi Chen's words were filled with absolute confidence. His confident words also greatly uplifted the spirits of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom's people. Indeed, even though the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom does not rank within the top 180 of the divine kingdoms participating in this stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown, it has Yi Chun. Yi Chun, an unparalleled genius who ranks fourth on the Star Domain God King ranking. The master stated that only representatives can occupy the Mish Lotus platform. Others wishing to seize it must defeat the representative occupying the platform in the same realm. In other words, if Yi Chun acts, other divine kingdoms wanting to seize the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom's Lotus platform must also send a God King to challenge Yi Chun. Ask yourself this. Among the more than 40,000 divine kingdoms, how many God Kings can surpass Yi Chun? Definitely not 180, perhaps not even 18. Then let's hurry and occupy the Lotus platform. Thinking of this, the divine venerables, divine kings, and true gods of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom expressed their joy and addressed Yichun. Yichun, should you or I be the representative? Longli asked Yichun. Yichun looked at Longli and said, Lear, let me do it. Although you are even stronger than me, your reputation isn't as prominent as mine right now. If I occupy the Lotus platform, I estimate not many divine kingdoms will dare to provoke me. All right. Longli nodded gently. Longli is undoubtedly the one who trusts Yichun's strength the most. In her heart, Yichun is invincible in the God King realm. Even the person currently ranked first on the Star Domain God King ranking, she knows, is certainly not Yichun's opponent. Let's go. Having decided to occupy the Mish Lotus platform and determining the representative, Yichun led the people of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom towards one of the Mish Lotus platforms. As Yichun and the others moved, people from other divine kingdoms also began to take action. In particular, among the first batch of over 10,000 divine kingdoms, more than 300 upper divine kingdom teams quickly decided on who would represent their kingdom and flew toward one of the 180 Mish Lotus platforms. Of course, there were also many divine kingdoms not yet moving. Among these are lower and middle-level divine kingdoms not very confident in their own strength, and teams from upper divine kingdoms who have absolute confidence in their strength. The divine kingdoms lacking confidence fear that if they occupy the Lotus platform, they might be challenged and injured without having even begun cultivating, which could have adverse effects on the upcoming Stellar Domain Genius Battle competition. As for those upper divine kingdom teams with absolute confidence in their strength, they believe that even if they don't seize the lead, they have the power to take a Lotus platform from others for cultivation. As for others' thoughts, Yichun didn't consider them at all. Yichun only thought about helping the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom win a Lotus platform for cultivation. Swoosh! In just a moment, Yichun flew to the front of a gigantic platform and stood before a Mish Lotus platform. Then, he directly took the representative token from beneath the platform. The moment the token fell into his hand, Yichun sensed the rules of the token transmitted to his mind. So this is how it is. You must reveal your divine kingdom and your name and realm as the representative on the Mish Lotus platform to occupy it. Sensing the rules, Yichun's mind and spirit moved. In an instant, the Mish Lotus platform before him lit up brightly. A line of text also appeared in the void in front of the Mish Lotus platform. This line of text read, Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom Team. Representative, Yichun, God King Realm. Boom! When this Mish Lotus platform lit up, Yichun also felt the defensive formation of the Lotus platform directly lift, and he immediately led the others from Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom into the Mish Lotus platform. Originally, when Yichun was about to occupy this Mish Lotus platform, there were at least 10 other divine kingdoms acting alongside him. These 10 divine kingdoms also wanted to occupy the Mish Lotus platform Yichun had chosen. However, Yichun was faster than them, first obtaining the representative token, making his team and name light up on the Lotus platform. The other divine kingdoms initially did not mind Yichun seizing it first. After all, even if Yichun took it first, they could snatch it from his hands. Yet, when Yichun's name and his divine kingdom appeared on the Mish Lotus platform, the teams from these 10 divine kingdoms all stopped. Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. Yichun? Could it be the Yichun ranked 4th on the Star Domain God King ranking? Among these 10 divine kingdoms, although 5 were upper divine kingdom teams, their strongest God Kings could not even rank in the top 10 of the Star Domain God King ranking. They simply did not have the strength to seize this Mish Lotus platform from Yichun. This Yichun has the strength to occupy this Mish Lotus platform. We can't compete with him. It's not worth being injured. Let's go to other Mish Lotus platforms. Finally, these 10 Divine Kingdom teams dared not waste more time on Yichun and could only head to other Mish Lotus platforms. When the team from Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom occupied one Mish Lotus platform, the other 179 Mish Lotus platforms also found occupiers successively. These occupiers either had absolute strength like Yichun, and upon occupying a Mish Lotus platform, others dared not recklessly seize it. Or they were strong enough to seize the Mish Lotus platform from others, defeating or even injuring other competitors fiercely. The Cosmic Stellar Domain Genius Battle's grand finale had not yet begun. In this preparation area, the undercurrents were already surging, and competition between divine kingdoms had begun to smoke. Powerful divine kingdoms, powerful representatives, from the start, attracted countless people's attention. As for weaker divine kingdoms, they could only watch desolately from the side or face the outcome of being defeated by others. But Yi Chun did not concern himself much with the competition outside. This time coming to participate in the Cosmic Stellar Domain Genius Battle's grand finale, beyond caring for the ranking of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, Yi Chun was also concerned for Zhang Yao's 10,000 Beasts domain ranking and cared for Zhang Yao. Other than that, at most Yi Chun would pay some attention to the true spirit divine kingdom he had visited. Upon arriving at the large platform, Yi Chun noticed that the 10,000 Beasts domain divine kingdom where Zhang Yao was not among the over 10,000 divine kingdom teams. Not even the true spirit divine kingdom was among them. Under these circumstances, Yi Chun could only lead the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom team to take action first. This Mish Lotus platform is actually so big. Upon entering the occupied Mish Lotus platform, exclamations of surprise arose around Yi Chun. Looking from outside the Mish Lotus platform, each of the 180 Lotus platforms appeared similarly sized, merely hundreds of meters. But upon entering, Yi Chun felt it had been specially refined by the great power holders of the Cosmic Sea Ancestral God Temple using great spatial divine skill. Inside this Mish Lotus platform was practically a massive treasure land for cultivation. The area of this cultivation treasure land was equivalent to the size of a normal star continent. From outside, it seemed merely filled with spiritual energy, but upon entering, countless divine flowers and divine trees grew inside and countless divine light shimmering cultivation formations could be seen. It's not much different from my original spirit source star, Yi Chun thought to himself. Yi Chun's original spirit source star was given by Qing Lan's Star Lord, a rare item only a Star Lord level great power holder possessed. Though the Mish Lotus platform was marvelous, it couldn't surpass the original spirit source star. However, while Yi Chun and Long Li could easily regard the Mish Lotus platform, others from Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom were not so calm. Though other geniuses were taught by sovereign-level mentors and some received guidance from Cosmic Sea Divine Master-level figures, they had never seen such a treasure land from the Cosmic Sea Ancestral God Temple. There's even great time divine skill in here. The time flow rate inside is different from the outside. It seems if we can occupy this Lotus platform, we can cultivate inside well. Many true gods, god kings, and divine venerables from Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, after sensing the divine marvel of the Mish Lotus platform, hastily chose a plot and focused on cultivation. The internal space of this Mish Lotus platform was vast, enough for 300 people to cultivate in comfortably. Yi Chun and Long Li similarly chose a spot, sat together, and entered cultivation as well. Chapter 1089. Get out. Long Li continues to cultivate the secret technique within the Star Luo God Ring, Heavenly Pulse 9 Arts. Yi Chun, on the other hand, begins to comprehend the space star aperture of this starry sky waterfall. Although the time spent in this pre-battle area won't be long, the time flow rate in this Mish Lotus platform secret ground is entirely different. If one seizes this waiting time to cultivate, it might lead to substantial gains. The people from the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation are cultivating in the Mish Lotus platform. The teams from the other 179 divine nations occupying other Mish Lotus platforms are similarly cultivating. In the battles for the Mish Lotus platform, dozens of representatives from the divine nations were severely injured, scaring many teams from other divine nations away from challenging. For the time being, the pre-battle platform quieted down. The entire pre-battle platform formed into two distinct camps. One camp consisted of the Divine Nation teams cultivating in the 180 Mish Lotus platforms. This was obviously the camp with strength, or rather, those within the Divine Nations who were exceptionally powerful and could represent their nation to seize opportunities. The other camp comprised the vast majority of Divine Nation teams who had no hope of entering the Mish Lotus platform to cultivate. At this moment, this side, belonging to the losers, comprised of thousands of Divine Nation teams and millions of people, all gazing enviously at the 180 Divine Nation teams cultivating in the Mish Lotus platforms. Mish Lotus platform. The mysterious cultivating ground set by the ancestral god temple beneath the starry sky waterfall. What a pity! We simply have no chance to enter, not even an opportunity to see what it's like inside. Many true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables from the divine nations shook their heads in melancholy. In their own divine nations, they were considered absolute geniuses. Otherwise, they couldn't have stood out in their internal selection battles. Yet, upon arriving at the starry sky waterfall, even before the stellar domain genius battle cosmic grand finals had begun, they encountered setbacks. This made many realize that there are always people better than you, and the sky is the limit. They were far, far away from becoming true strongmen. The universe is vast. There are countless divine nations as well. It's a pity that our divine nation is just a medium divine nation. How can we compete with so many upper-level divine nations? This ancestral god temple is too unfair. It lets us compete for the Mish Lotus platform, but there are only 180 in total. How could we possibly outcompete those geniuses cultivated by the upper-level divine nations? A divine venerable from a medium divine nation complained. Silence! The ancestral god temple is not something you or I can discuss. As this divine venerable complained, others hurriedly covered his mouth. Someone even criticized him, saying, "Don't blame your own divine nation for being too weak. If you're really not satisfied, why don't you defeat those representatives who captured the Mish Lotus platform yourself? Don't say there's no one from a medium divine nation capable of capturing the Mish Lotus platform. Didn't Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation's Yichun still help the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation capture one? In the Cosmic Divine Nation rankings, Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation isn't even stronger than our medium divine nation. Yet Yichun still made many people from upper-level divine nations not dare to contest him. These words left the divine venerable speechless. The divine venerable could only think dejectedly to himself, "Yes, I'm just too weak. If only I could be as formidable as Yichun, make it to the top few of the Star Domain Divine Venerable list, and others wouldn't dare to vie with me. It's my own lack of ability. Coming here to participate in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Cosmic Grand Finals, no matter the outcome, has broadened my horizons. Even if the final results are poor, once back in the Divine Nation, I must train harder, strive to ascend to the Sovereign Realm or even the Divine Master Realm, and venture into the Cosmic Sea. Maybe one day, I too can be like Yichun, renowned across the entire cosmos and even the Cosmic Sea. These true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables, who could participate in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Cosmic Grand Finals, were all geniuses. Even if frustrated and momentarily downcast, they were quickly able to inspire themselves to strive forward. It wasn't just this divine venerable. Countless other true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables who couldn't enter the Mish Lotus platform were now full of fighting spirit. They intended to showcase themselves in the upcoming Stellar Domain Genius Battle Cosmic Grand Finals, hoping to earn as many rewards as possible for their divine nations, preparing well for further cultivation. This was precisely why the Ancestral God Temple arranged this competition for the Mish Lotus platform. Indeed, through competition, it stimulated and motivated many. Look quickly. There's another battle about to erupt there. Initially, when competing for the 180 Mish Lotus platforms, the battles were most intense. Many team representatives fought extraordinary battles just to seize the opportunity to cultivate in the Mish Lotus platform. But later, as many were injured, it made the Divine Nation teams, who felt they lacked the strength, refrain from further contests, to avoid suffering losses before the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Cosmic Grand Finals even began, which quieted down the scene for a while. But now, once again, a battle to seize has erupted on the platform. It's a battle among the high-rank divine countries. When a Divine Kingdom team approached a Mish Lotus platform, pressed the challenge rune, and the representative of the Divine Kingdom within the Mish Lotus platform was called out to respond, Many recognized the identities of these two challenging Divine Kingdom teams and started to discuss fervently. It's Lanyue Divine Country versus Shamong Divine Country. Lanyue Divine Country was the first to enter the Mish Lotus platform, and the Shamong Divine Country team wants to challenge them. Wow, Lanyue Divine Country is ranked among the top few dozen of the 864 Upper Divine Countries, and Shamong Divine Country's ranking is very close, also among the top in the Upper Divine Countries. It is said that both Divine Countries have formidable figures participating in this stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown, and are both definitely capable of claiming 2 of the 180 Mish Lotus platforms. It's surprising that a conflict arose between them. Why didn't the Shamong Divine Country go to claim a Mish Lotus platform first? They surely have the strength to occupy one. So why deliberately challenge Lanyue Divine Country? Someone was utterly bewildered. Someone in the know said, "Don't you know? Lanyue Divine Country and Shamong Divine Country have an old rivalry, and they often confront each other. Although both could seize a Mish Lotus platform this time, Shamong Divine Country wouldn't want Lanyue Divine Country to have it easy. They would definitely provoke them first. If Shamong Divine Country defeats Lanyue Divine Country and takes their Mish Lotus platform, even if Lanyue Divine Country later seizes another from another Divine Country, they would still lose face before Shamong Divine Country. That's the reason Shamong Divine Country intentionally chose to challenge Lanyue Divine Country. Also, the Divine Venerable representatives of Shamong Divine Country and Lanyue Divine Country are said to have very close rankings on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list. Perhaps both are eager to surpass each other. Among the crowd's discussions, Lanyue Divine Country's representative, UNG Divine Venerable, who was called out from the Mish Lotus platform to face the challenge, glanced towards Shamong Divine Country, especially at the leading Divine Venerable of Shamong Divine Country. UNG Divine Venerable coldly said, "Chiyu Divine Venerable, you dare challenge me? Aren't you afraid I'll defeat you to the extent of severe injuries before the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's cosmic showdown even starts, making you incapable of continuing the battles?" Representing Shamong Divine Country in this Mish Lotus platform contest, Chiyu Divine Venerable, towering and with 8 peculiar eyes on his head, laughed heartily upon hearing UNG Divine Venerable's words. "UNG, just because you seized a Mish Lotus platform first, you think I fear you? I'm waiting to defeat you to prove that it's a mistake ranking me below you on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list, and to entirely prove that your Lanyue Divine Country is inferior to my Shamong Divine Country. Enough talk. Let's begin the battle." Boom! After the 2 Upper Divine Country representatives confronted each other, they exchanged no more words, and the battle of challenge and response exploded immediately. This preparation platform, forged by the ancestral god temple, is incredibly sturdy, unaffected even by the divine battle of 2 attending the cosmic showdown in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle. The fight between 2 Divine Venerables ranked in the top 20 of the Star Domain Divine Venerable list reached terrifying extremities. Even the Divine Venerables of various divine kingdoms watching the spectacle outside were stunned. After all, they themselves would have to compete against these 2 Divine Venerables in the subsequent Divine Venerable battles of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Cosmic Showdown. Ultimately, the battle between these 2 surprised everyone. Chiyu Divine Venerable of Shamong Divine Country, who ranked lower on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list and initiated the challenge, astonishingly defeated UNG Divine Venerable, who originally occupied the Mish Lotus platform, thereby helping Shamong Divine Country seize Lanyue Divine Country's Mish Lotus platform. When the 300 individuals from Lanyue Divine Country, who were cultivating on the Mish Lotus platform, were expelled due to UNG Divine Venerable's defeat, the 300 from Shamong Divine Country mocked them repeatedly, while every member of Lanyue Divine Country glared with fire in their eyes. Yet, a loss is a loss. They could only leave their original Mish Lotus platform. UNG Divine Venerable of Lanyue Divine Country, losing to Chiyu Divine Venerable, seemed deeply shaken, and after a long pause, he gritted his teeth and seized another Mish Lotus platform from a weaker Divine Country team to re-enter his cultivation. Such episodes occurred many more times afterwards. Seeing Shamong Divine Country successfully seize a Mish Lotus platform, numerous Divine Country teams issued challenges. However, the vast majority of these challenges failed, with many team representatives even suffering severe injuries. Nevertheless, challenges persisted intermittently. Interestingly, no Divine Country team dared to challenge the Mish Lotus platform where Yichun resided.
No joke.
Yichun is ranked 4th on the Star Domain God King list. Among the over 10,000 divine countries arriving here, none has a God King ranked above Yichun, and no divine country dares to send a God King representative to challenge Yichun. This situation persisted until the arrival of the second batch of divine country teams. The second batch of divine country teams, again with over 10,000 teams, arrived at the Starry Sky Waterfall, escorted by the master of the ancestral god temple to the preparation area platform. Among the teams arriving this time was the 10,000 Beasts Domain Divine Kingdom, where Zhongyao was situated, along with several other exceptionally powerful divine countries. Once these 10,000-plus teams learned of the rules for competing over the Mish Lotus platforms, the rivalry for control over the 180 Mish Lotus platforms began anew. Almost every divine country team representative occupying a Mish Lotus platform was challenged by the newly arrived second batch. To the surprise of many present, one particular divine country team walked straight to the Mish Lotus platform where Yichun was located. This divine country team was ranked at the absolute forefront among countless divine countries in this cosmos and even among the 864 upper divine countries. Position second, the Yuming Divine Country. The representative of Yuming Divine Country was Yuming Shifang of the Netherworld Ancient Clan, ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King list. Upon seeing Yi Chen's name displayed on the Mish Lotus platform, Yuming Shifang's gaze turned icy cold. Yuming Shifang activated the challenge rune on Yi Chen's Mish Lotus platform and shouted inside, "Yi Chen, get out here." Chapter 1090. My name is Chanqian, Yuming Divine Country, renowned throughout this cosmos. Besides Moko Divine Country, it is the most famous among the advanced life groups. And Yuming Shifang is a figure with great fame on the Star Domain God King ranking. His challenge to Yichun immediately drew countless eyes on the battle platform. Yuming Shifang, ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King ranking, wants to challenge Yichun, who's ranked 4th on the Star Domain God King ranking. Heavens! This is an earth-shattering duel. Although there have been countless challenges earlier, none involve the top 10 figures on the Star Domain True God ranking, Star Domain God King list, or Star Domain Divine Venerable list. After all, such figures avoid casual conflicts. I didn't expect Yuming Shifang to brazenly taunt Yichun to come out. This isn't just a challenge. Yuming Shifang is trying to fiercely slap Yichen's face. Well, Yuming Shifang obviously harbors intense dislike for Yichun. Considering Yuming Divine Country ranks 2nd in this cosmos, Yuming Shifang is a world-renowned genius among the god kings of the Netherworld Ancient Clan. Yet he was surpassed by Yichun from a moderate divine kingdom on the Star Domain God King ranking after its revision. Naturally, he feels disgruntled. He's aiming to teach Yichun a harsh lesson, like how Chiyu Divine Venerable from Shamong Divine Country disciplined Yuanji Divine Venerable from Lanyue Divine Country, proving his superiority in front of everyone. Now there's a good show to watch. If Yichun loses, it'll be a colossal blunder for him. If he wins, he'll offend Yuming Divine Country. Enjoy the show. The higher one stands, the harder the fall. A loud reputation isn't always favorable. Being defeated in front of so many people is quite embarrassing. Countless onlookers began discussing gleefully. Most believe Yuming Shifang, who openly provoked, has a higher chance of victory. For one, Yuming Shifang hails from a stronger Yuming Divine Country. And second, he must be extremely confident to challenge Yichun so directly. In the crowd, upon hearing Yuming Shifang's taunt, 2 women frowned. One woman is Zhang Yao from the 10,000 Beasts Domain Divine Kingdom team. Zhang Yao looked towards Yuming Divine Country, instinctively frowning and clenching her fist slightly. The other woman was a tiny girl, appearing like an undeveloped loli, sporting twin ponytails, and carrying a snow-colored saber larger than herself on her back. This petite girl stood at the forefront of another Divine Kingdom team. If someone recognized this Divine Kingdom team, they'd be astounded. It's Dragon Xian Divine Kingdom's team, the cosmos's 5th-ranked powerful Divine Kingdom. Though Dragon Xian Divine Kingdom ranks lower than Yuming Divine Country, its influence in the Cosmic Sea surpasses even Yuming Divine Country, ranking higher than Moko Divine Country. It's said that Dragon Xian Divine Kingdom possesses a unique divine origin awakening, becoming stronger the further they cultivate, birthing numerous Star Lord-level beings in the Cosmic Sea. Furthermore, it's rumored that the ancestral God Temple's founder, the Great Star Master Yuan Wu, originated from Dragon Xian Divine Kingdom. Yet Dragon Xian Divine Kingdom remains extremely low-key, rarely competing in the cosmos, and only participated in the stellar domain genius battle due to significant upheavals. Despite its numerous formidable talents and remarkable heritage, a tiny girl leading from the front is indeed surprising. This petite girl, hearing Yuming Shifang's words, murmured, "Great ancestor told me to beat the Yichun up well. Didn't say others could bully him. After all, Yichun is the descendant of great ancestor's friend. Is that Yuming Divine Country guy looking for trouble too?" Her eyes shifted, seeming to brew some mischievous thoughts. Beside her, a tall young man glanced at the girl's expression, then at Yuming Shifang, chuckling and shaking his head. That Yuming Shifang will likely face disaster later, the tall youth thought. Qianqian is notorious for causing trouble, surprising that grandmother let her out this time. If someone glanced at this tall young man, they'd recognize him as Dragon Ning, the top super genius from Dragon Xian Divine Kingdom, ranked first on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list by Stone Ridge Palace. Beside Dragon Ning, the petite girl daringly claimed to beat up Yichun. Indifferent even to the Star Domain God King list's top-ranked Moko Yi, Qianqian. "Yichun, come out!" After Yuming Shifang activated the challenge runes, his voice reverberated inside the Mish Lotus platform where Yichun was residing. Although only a few hours had passed outside, due to the different time flow rate inside Mish Lotus platform, 7 or 8 days had already elapsed. During these 7 or 8 days, others were still diligently cultivating. Even Long Li was still engaged in arduous training. But Yichun successfully completed another session of cultivation, sensing the space star aperture in the starry sky waterfall, activating another origin star aperture within. Initially, Yichun was marveling at the primordial star scripture created by ZG Star-Lord. Even the space star aperture in the ancestral secret ground starry sky waterfall could be sensed by the primordial star scripture. Then, suddenly he heard Yuming Shifang's provocative words, causing Yichun to frown. The others, cultivating inside Mish Lotus platform, also startled upon hearing Yuming Shifang's demand for Yichun to come out. Someone is challenging Yichun. Could they be trying to seize our Mish Lotus platform? Telling Yichun to come out, how brazen. Truly outrageous. The people of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation are furious and fly towards Yichun. Beside Yichun was Long Li, who was originally still cultivating, but upon hearing Yuming Shifang's words, immediately awoke from her cultivation. Yuming Shifang's words made Long Li's starry eyes flash instantly. Long Li directly stood up. "Leer." Yichun knew exactly what Long Li was thinking at this moment. He patted Long Li's little head and smiled. "Let me handle it." Long Li looked into Yichun's eyes and gently acknowledged with a hum. But the little girl softly said, "I want to go out too and see which divine nation has such courage. Then let's go out together." Knowing Long Li's concerns, Yichun nodded with a smile. "Yichun, I want to go out and see too." "Yichun, we all want to go out." Although the challenge was not over and they could still cultivate inside the Mish Lotus platform, the little provincial princess Mo Xiaohan and many others were immensely concerned about Yichun. Hearing someone openly provoking Yichun made them all furious, wanting to follow Yichun out to sea. Yichun looked at the crowd and nodded. He stretched his hand towards the Mish Lotus platform, instantly casting a light that enveloped everyone. With a swish sound, Yichun and a group of people directly exited from the internal space of the Mish Lotus platform, arriving outside it. Yichun is out. Yuming Shifang, ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King ranking from Yuming Divine Nation, challenges Yichun, ranked 4th from Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation. The show is about to start. Upon seeing Yichun and others coming out of the Mish Lotus platform, the surrounding discussions grew louder. Yi Chun. Seeing Yi Chun come out, Jiang Yao hurriedly waved towards him. Originally, when Jiang Yao arrived on the preparation platform, she attracted countless eyes. Now, seeing her greet Yi Chun and the equally beautiful girl Long Li beside him, many envied Yi Chun greatly. Those two, they must be the rumored two peerless goddesses, Jiang Yao and Long Li. I've heard these two are immensely powerful, though they rarely demonstrate their skills and are not recorded on the star domain ranking. But rumors say they are extraordinarily strong. Yi Chun, he's got quite the luck with women. Really enviable. Envious? Wait. When he loses to Yuming Shifang, he'll be thoroughly embarrassed. And maybe then both goddesses will leave him for being such a disgrace. After Jiang Yao greeted Yi Chun, many started whispering more intensely. Yuming Divine Nation? Yuming Shifang. Upon hearing the surrounding discussions, Yi Chun instantly understood the situation. It seems like another guy, just like that prince of heavenly wilderness divine country, coming out to cause trouble because of the star domain god king ranking. Yi Chun shook his head, smiling. Yaoer has finally arrived. Yi Chun didn't pay any heed to Yuming Shifang and directly waved at Jiang Yao with a smile. Many assumed that Yi Chun, being loudly asked to come out by Yuming Shifang, would come out angrily. But to their surprise, Yi Chun emerged with a calm demeanor, even glancing at Yuming Shifang while smiling and shaking his head, looking at him as if he were a fool. This look made many feel that Yi Chun severely underestimated Yuming Shifang. After all, Yuming Shifang was ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King ranking, a powerful figure from Yuming Divine Nation, a peerless genius. Could it be that Yi Chun believed dealing with Yuming Shifang would be as simple as dealing with that prince of heavenly wilderness divine country? Yuming Shifang, provoked by Yi Chun's indifferent glance, frowned. As he prepared to further mock Yi Chun, the beautiful young lady standing by Yi Chun spoke. Yuming Divine Nation? Looks like during the Star Domain Genius Battle God Venerable fight, I need to give Yuming Divine Nation's God Venerables some lessons. When this beautiful young lady spoke, many knew that this must be the rumored first goddess of the Supreme Divine Institute, Long Li, among the two goddesses beside Yi Chun, who had reached the Divine Venerable Realm. Rumors stated that only Long Li was at the Divine Venerable Realm, while the other goddess Jiang Yao and Yi Chun remained at the God King Realm. Long Li's words carried absolute confidence. Her gaze towards the God Venerables of Yuming Divine Nation even made them instinctively wary. Then, from afar, another tender voice emerged from the crowd. Yuming Divine Nation is indeed too arrogant. During the Star Domain Genius Battle God King fight, I will certainly teach Yuming Divine Nation's God Kings some lessons. I'm Chanqian, but I'm not one of Yi Chun's pretty companions. Numerous eyes turned towards the direction of the voice. They saw a young girl standing at the forefront of Longxian Divine Kingdom, confidently holding her head high, looking at both the people of Yuming Divine Nation and Yi Chun on the Mish Lotus platform. Beside the young girl ranked first on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list, Long Ning heard her words and bitterly smiled while rubbing his head. I knew this girl couldn't resist speaking. Chapter 1091. Above the Lotus, Heaven's Chosen Battle. Long Li and Chanqian's vocal presence further ignited the atmosphere. Originally, everyone thought that when Yuming Shifang from the Yuming Divine Country came out to provoke Yi Chun from a mid-tier Divine Kingdom would be overshadowed in terms of aura. After all, Yuming Shifang is a genius from the second-ranked Divine Kingdom in this universe, Yuming Divine Country. But to everyone's surprise, not only was Yi Chun indifferent to Yuming Shifang, but even Long Li beside him directly expressed hostility towards the participating Divine Venerable from Yuming Divine Country. Long Li seemed absolutely unworried about the power of Yuming Divine Country, and it appeared she had supreme confidence in defeating the Divine Venerable of Yuming Divine Country. Yuming Divine Country has powerful figures, ranked 4th on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list, yet Long Li claims she will teach them a lesson in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Divine Venerable duel. Could it be she is confident enough to defeat the 4th-ranked Divine Venerable from Yuming Divine Country? Is this Long Li really as strong as the rumors say? Also a top-tier figure in the Star Domain Divine Venerable list? Long Li's confident words on behalf of Yi Chun already shocked many people. And Qianqian's words attracted even more attention. Qianqian? What is the background of this girl? She stands at the forefront of Longxian Divine Kingdom. Could it be that she represents Longxian Divine Kingdom in the quest for the Mish Lotus platform this time? Longxian Divine Kingdom. A kingdom unafraid of the powerful Yuming Divine Country. And it turns out Yi Chun even knows the genius from Longxian Divine Kingdom. The number 1 on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list, Long Ning, seems to regard this girl as quite extraordinary. Could Qianqian also be a master not recorded on the Star Domain God King list? There will surely be a spectacle this time. Although Yuming Divine Country is strong, should they offend Yi Chun and Qianqian in the God King realm, and then Long Li in the Divine Venerable realm if Yi Chun, Qianqian, and Long Li are indeed formidable, Yuming Divine Country might face significant troubles in this stellar domain genius battle. The Mish Lotus platform, due to Yuming Shifang's provocation and Yi Chen's appearance, attracted countless eyes from the preparation platform. Within the Starry Sky Waterfall, inside an alternate space, numerous Divine Kingdom rulers and venerables who came to the Starry Sky Waterfall were sitting in this strange space, watching a huge light screen in the void above. The huge light screen was showing the situation on the gigantic platform where the Mish Lotus platform was located. The conflict between Yi Chun and Yuming Shifang had already caught the attention of countless Divine Kingdom rulers. At that moment, beside the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation's ruler, there gathered many rulers and divine venerables from mid-tier divine kingdoms. One of the Divine Kingdom rulers said to the sovereign Yantian of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, "Yantian, your kingdoms Yi Chun and Long Li are evidently extraordinary. Such confidence in front of Yuming Divine Country's genius." As words were spoken, this Divine Kingdom ruler's gaze turned to another direction. In that direction, the ruler of Yuming Divine Country was gathered with several rulers from upper-tier divine kingdoms. His face was extremely somber, evidently having heard Long Li and Qianqian's words from the light screen, and felt the contempt these two girls had for Yuming Divine Country. On the side of Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation, upon hearing the words from nearby rulers, Sovereign Yantian glanced at the ruler of Yuming Divine Country. Then, Sovereign Yantian smiled lightly. Let the young ones settle their disputes themselves. Such conflicts are precisely what Ancestral God Temple desires to see. It's perfect for motivating these youngsters to cultivate harder. As for my kingdoms Yi Chun and Long Li having such confidence in front of Yuming Divine Country's genius, Country Lord Lien Xiao, later on, Yi Chun and Long Li will surprise you even more. In Sovereign Yantian's words was absolute trust in Yi Chun and Long Li. Oh, do you really believe Yi Chun can defeat Yuming Shifang? Long Li can best all of Yuming Divine Country's divine venerables? Listening to Sovereign Yantian's words, many Divine Kingdom rulers were even more intrigued. And then there's that girl Qianqian. She's from Longxian Divine Kingdom and even knows Yi Chun. She spoke out to aid him. While speaking, many Divine Kingdom rulers turned to another direction. In that direction, the ruler of Longxian Divine Kingdom and several venerables who arrived this time were sitting cross-legged, not interacting much with other divine kingdoms. However, evidently, the ruler and numerous venerables of Longxian Divine Kingdom had also noticed the commotion on the light screen. When the girl Qianqian spoke, the ruler of Longxian Divine Kingdom and the venerables even showed a helpless smile similar to Long Ning's. It seemed the identity of the girl Qianqian was very unusual, as even the ruler and numerous venerables of Longxian Divine Kingdom dared not say much about her. Upon hearing the words of the rulers, Sovereign Yantian laughed. Yi Chun defeating Yuming Shifang shouldn't be a problem, and as for Long Li defeating Yuming Divine Country's divine venerables, that surely won't be an issue. Well then, truthfully, I haven't seen Long Li fight. If we really want to see her strength, we'll have to wait and see in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Divine Venerable Duel, in an even higher space within the Starry Sky Waterfall. Unlike the space below, which was filled with the rulers and venerables of various divine kingdoms watching the preparation areas scene. In this higher space were all the great power holders of the Ancestral God Temple. Among them were not only the three masters who welcomed Yi Chun and other divine kingdom participants, but also a considerable number of other divine masters and masters. Even more, with a dozen cosmic emperors present in this space. It is rumored that this stellar domain genius battle, due to the hand decree of Star Master Yuan Wu, Ancestral God Temple's founder, not only has cosmic emperors engaging in the specifics of the stellar domain genius battle, but also many newly appointed Star Lords of the Ancestral God Temple are focused on this ultimate cosmic showdown. The sheer number and strength of power holders in this space speak volumes. At this moment, within this space, the Divine Masters, and Cosmic Emperors were also paying attention to the confrontation between Yi Chun and Yuming Shifeng. A Cosmic Emperor laughed. Ah, the passion of youth. That Yi Chun does indeed have some skill, to the point that even that girl Qianqian spoke out to support him. The words from this Cosmic Emperor suggested that he was quite familiar with the girl Qianqian. And it wasn't just this one Cosmic Emperor. Other Cosmic Emperors hearing these words chimed in. It's likely Eyebrow Granny heard about the stellar domain genius battle and specifically sent Qianqian to compete. With Qianqian's arrival, the dispute for the top spot in the stellar domain genius battle God King ranking doesn't leave much suspense. Who knows if Eyebrow Granny will let Qianqian travel to the primal beginning universe? Eyebrow Granny, following the orders of Lone Origin Star Lord, takes care of Qianqian. Since she's allowing Qianqian to compete, she's definitely going to let Qianqian go to the primal beginning universe. This time, on the journey to the primal beginning universe, not only will our Ancestral God Temple select the genius from this universe to go, but other major forces from the Cosmic Sea will also select their controlled universe geniuses to go. If Qianqian goes to the primal beginning universe, then her real stage will probably be there, competing with geniuses from other universes. The discussions among these cosmic emperors involve countless secrets. It seems that the girl Qianqian has a great connection with the Cosmic Sea Ancestral God Temple. Moreover, it seems the upcoming journey to the primal beginning universe involves enormous secrets. However, the discussions of the cosmic emperors are unknown to the outside participants of the stellar domain genius battle, and even the country lords of God kingdoms are unaware. At this time, these participants are still waiting for the start of the stellar domain genius battle's grand universe final battle, and still competing on the preparation platform. Long Li and Qianqian's successive voices made the Yuming Divine Country participants extremely displeased. A god king from Yuming Divine Country couldn't resist calling towards Yi Chun. Yi Chun, according to the Ancestral God Temple's rules, we can challenge you, the occupiers of the Mish Lotus platform, so stop changing the topic. If you truly have the ability, then battle against my country's representative. Let's see who's superior. Only relying on a woman to speak for you, what kind of ability is that? These words from the God King made Yi Chun look directly at him. The calm gaze of Yi Chun seemed to penetrate deep into the heart of this God King, who felt in an instant that Yi Chun could, with a single hand, extinguish his soul entirely. This God King, ranked 13th in the internal God King selection battle in Yuming Divine Country, was so frightened by just a glance from Yi Chun that he broke out in cold sweat, dared not speak further, and buried his head. Yi Chun, seeing this cowardly appearance, shook his head. Then Yi Chun's eyes directly turned to Yuming Shifeng. Since you wish to challenge me, then let the battle commence. Yi Chun said no more, directly slapped the Mish Lotus platform where he was, immediately causing a huge lotus to rise in the air, forming a lotus-shaped battlefield in the void. This lotus field is the fighting ground for the Mish Lotus platform. Yi Chun flashed his figure, directly arriving on the lotus, and called towards Yuming Shifeng, "Come up!" Humph! Yuming Shifeng saw Yi Chun's nonchalant manner, snorted coldly, and also flashed his figure, directly landing on the lotus. In the void, atop the lotus, Yi Chun, ranked 4th in the Star Domain God King ranking, and Yuming Shifeng, ranked 5th in the Star Domain God King ranking, faced each other. The battle of Heaven's Chosen was about to ignite. Yuming Shifeng was dressed in black, while Yi Chun wore white clothes. "Make your move." Yi Chun looked at Yuming Shifeng, saying calmly, "If you don't make your move first, you won't have the chance." Yi Chun's words made Yuming Shifeng's eyes grow colder. Yuming Shifeng didn't expect Yi Chun to be even more arrogant. daring to disdain him like this. I will make you regret saying such bold words. As soon as Yuming Shifang spoke, the next moment, the intensely profound black divine light on him suddenly soared into the sky like countless rays. Then Yuming Shifang seemed to transform into innumerable unmatched black rays, rushing fiercely towards Yichan on the other side. These black rays seemed capable of piercing everything, and were only held at bay by the battle area crafted by the ancestral God Temple. If they were on the star continent of God Kingdom, these black rays might penetrate thousands of feet deep into the earth. It's the Netherworld Ancient Clan's polar sky level cultivation technique, Yuji Deathlight. Reportedly, Yuji Deathlight ranks fourth among the top 10 polar sky level cultivation techniques of the Netherworld Ancient Clan. Extremely difficult to cultivate. Looking at Yuming Shifang's state, he seems to have attained a minor accomplishment level of mastery in Yuji Deathlight. Polar sky level cultivation technique, that's a technique even sovereign realm experts can cultivate. To master it at minor accomplishment in the God King realm is truly remarkable. With this cultivation technique alone, Yuming Shifang can certainly defeat ordinary low-level sovereigns. And the minor accomplishment level is the most potent stage a God King realm can drive Yuji Deathlight. Perhaps when Yuming Shifang's realm grows stronger, he might unleash the full combat power of this Yuji Deathlight. Wonder how Yichan will defend. In the instant Yuming Shifang attacked Yichan, countless thoughts flashed through many minds, all looking at Yichan. Yet, people saw that, facing the fearful black rays shooting towards him, Yichan was fearless, his expression unchanging. Yichan waved his hand, directly forming 5 extraordinarily mysterious lines in front of him. The 5 extraordinarily mysterious lines intertwined, instantly creating an extremely radiant defense aura. This aura of divine light appeared even more mysterious than the Yuji Deathlight shot by Yuming Shifang. As soon as the aura emerged, an elite genius from the Upper Divine Kingdom recognized its origin, exclaimed in disbelief, "It's the Eternal God Body Defense Technique, and it's the integration of 5 major defense techniques. Good heavens! Has Yichan successfully cultivated the entire Eternal God Body?" Chapter 1092. The True Heavens Chosen. The Eternal God Body is a renowned divine body in this universe. If one can fully cultivate the Eternal God Body to great accomplishment, its power can even be called the strongest divine body in the sovereign realm. Numerous unparalleled heavens chosen have, of course, heard of such a divine body cultivation technique. However, due to the extreme difficulty in cultivating the Eternal God Body, combined with the fact that even many sovereigns cannot afford the materials for the 5 great divine patterns, almost no God King would choose to cultivate the Eternal God Body. And even many divine venerables and sovereigns dare not attempt to cultivate it. Now, the talented individuals with keen eyesight on the field saw Yichan displaying the defensive means of combining the 5 great divine patterns of the Eternal God Body, shocking these geniuses to the extreme. After all, even though Yuji Deathlight performed by Yuming Shifang was the 4th-ranked polar sky level cultivation technique of the Netherworld Ancient Clan, the Eternal God Body is the strongest divine body in the sovereign realm of this universe. In comparison, the Eternal God Body is, of course, stronger and much more difficult to cultivate. Who exactly is this Yichan? Isn't he the God King of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, a medium-level divine kingdom? How was he able to gather the materials for the Eternal God Body's cultivation? Countless people were filled with doubts. What these people didn't know was that the materials for Yichan's Eternal God Body were gathered with the help of Mrs. He, the 9-star sovereign of the 10,000 Beasts domain, by the 9 Flames clan and Extreme Spirit clan sovereigns of the True Spirit Divine Kingdom, and even by General Insha of the 8th-rank Divine Master Realm. What others couldn't gather for the cultivation of the Eternal God Body, Yichan successfully acquired all of them. Moreover, Yichan completely succeeded in cultivating the Eternal God Body, which is difficult for countless people and even many sovereigns to accomplish. With just this one technique, Yichan utterly surpassed Yuming Shifang, who used Yuji Deathlight, in talent, comprehension, and achievement. Indeed, as many on the field recognized Yichan's Eternal God Body technique, the Yuji Deathlight, fired by Yuming Shifang, struck directly at the defensive aura surrounding Yichan's body. Something astonishing happened. Even though Yuji Deathlight is ranked 4th among the polar sky level techniques of the Netherworld Ancient Clan, and it can penetrate tens of thousands of feet through the star continent, when it touched the defensive aura around Yi-Chen's body, it was completely blocked by the defensive aura. Furthermore, as the defensive aura driven by Yi-Chen rotated, it produced an unparalleled twisting force, directly annihilating the incoming Yuji Deathlight. Yuming Shifeng couldn't hurt Yi-Chen at all. The Eternal God Body is a technique even stronger than Yuji Deathlight. Yi-Chen is still in the God King realm and cannot exert the full combat power of the Eternal God Body. Otherwise, with his level of mastering all 5 great divine patterns, defeating Yuming Shifeng, and even many high-level sovereigns would not be a problem. Now that Yi-Chen has blocked Yuming Shifeng's attack, it seems Yi-Chen is about to launch his assault. Amidst the rapid thoughts of the audience, the offense and defense on the lotus between Yi-Chen and Yuming Shifeng indeed reversed directly. After using the combined defensive means of the 5 great divine patterns of the Eternal God Body to block Yuming Shifeng's attack, Yi-Chen's palm grasped, and in an instant, the combined attack means of the 5 great divine patterns of the Eternal God Body was directly initiated. This is simply the most brilliant scene to the extreme. The 5 great divine patterns of the Eternal God Body, consisting of earth, fire, water, wind, and chaos divine patterns. When their attack methods are combined, they shoot out the most dazzling rays of light in the void heaven. These rays burn brightly like stars, carrying the earth's majesty, fire's heat, water's overwhelming, wind blades cutting, and even the chaos divine pattern's indestructible power, directly tearing toward Yuming Shifeng. When this combined attack method blossomed in the void, countless god kings and even divine venerables watching were stunned. Even if not within the battle, these people could sense the terrifying power of this attack, which was countless times scarier than the previous Yuji Deathlight of Yuming Shifeng. Many god kings and even divine venerables on the field felt that if it were them, they simply couldn't withstand a single strike from Yi-Chen. Indeed, a world-class Heaven's Chosen ranked 4th on the Star Domain God King ranking. Simply incredible. I wonder how Yuming Shifeng will resist this. Countless gazes turned to Yuming Shifeng, eager to see what moves he had to counter. In the void above the lotus, Yuming Shifeng visibly recognized Yi-Chen's Eternal God Body technique. When he saw Yi-Chen not only using the defensive means to block his Yuji Deathlight but also using offensive means against him, Yuming Shifeng's expression changed dramatically. Having understood the power of the Eternal God Body, Yuming Shifeng knew the terrifying nature of the 5 great divine patterns combined attack method. Almost in an instant, Yuming Shifeng made a decision. He had to use his trump card. This technique was initially reserved for the crucial moment in the final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle God King battle. Now, facing Yi-Chen, who seemed to defeat him in one move, he couldn't help but use it. If I had known, I wouldn't have challenged Yi-Chen. Indeed, the characters at the forefront of the Star Domain God King ranking should not be challenged casually. Even winning this time would come at a great loss. Once the trump card is exposed, it's no longer a trump card. As countless thoughts flashed through Yuming Shifeng's mind, under the current circumstances, he had no time to think further. As Yi-Chen's combined attack method of the 5 great divine patterns hit before Yuming Shifeng, 5 black stones flew out directly from his body. These 5 black stones directly formed a rhombus-shaped array and began to spin rapidly. In an instant, the 5 black stones formed a cylindrical beam of light around Yuming Shifeng, completely enveloping Yuming Shifeng inside. Bang! 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 When Yi-Chen's attack hit the cylindrical beam of light formed by these 5 black stones, countless earth-shattering explosion sounds were heard. The black stone array actually blocked all of Yi-Chen's attack techniques. What are those 5 black stones? In the Stellar Domain Genius battle, you can't use divine treasure talismans bestowed by great power holders to participate in the battle. These black stones shouldn't be given to Yuming Shifeng by a great power holder, but rather mystical artifacts refined by Yuming Shifeng himself. They can actually block the attack techniques of the Eternal God Body. Countless people exclaimed aloud. Almost everyone in the field couldn't recognize the origin of these black stones. Only a very few people, upon seeing these 5 black stones, had a flash of insight in their eyes. These few people were shockingly ranked among the top in the God King list and Divine Venerable list, super geniuses from the upper divine kingdom with great knowledge. It's the falling God stone, rumored to only appear in the lost star domain. This kind of stone is extremely hard to find and is an excellent divine object for cultivating defensive formations, even said to be more precious than many extreme heavenly objects. Moreover, this type of divine object can only be obtained by the user themselves. It cannot be acquired through other powerful beings. Finding just one falling God stone is already very challenging, but Yuming Shifang has managed to get 5 at once. If Yichun were a sovereign, fully activating the attack techniques of the eternal God body might break it, but now at the God King realm, he can only exert partial divine might of the eternal God body, and probably won't be able to break the defensive power of this falling God stone formation. Could it be that neither of them can break each other's defense, and this battle will stagnate? These super geniuses who recognized the falling God stone contemplated in their hearts. Meanwhile, others who couldn't recognize the black stones only saw Yi Chen's attack techniques completely blocked by Yuming Shifang, worrying the supporters of Yi Chen, while those who were concerned for Yuming Shifang became ecstatic. There was even a God King from the Yuming divine country shouting, "Yi Chen, didn't you say if Yuming Shifang doesn't attack, there won't be a chance for him to attack? I thought you could suppress him. Now it seems that's just the way it is." Just as this God King was shouting, his voice abruptly stopped, because he noticed that Yi Chen above Void Heaven, upon realizing the attack techniques of the eternal God body couldn't break the falling God stone formation's defense, didn't stop and activated another attack technique. This attack technique appeared even stronger than the attack technique of the eternal God body's 5 great divine patterns combined. Yi Chen's large hand suddenly waved. A starry light of extreme brilliance shot out directly from Yi Chen's palm, with a killing force capable of tearing through the starry sky, instantly striking at the falling God stone formation outside Yuming Shifang's body. Bang! This time, Yi Chen's strike, though it didn't instantly break the falling God stone formation, caused it to tremble for quite some time. Yi Chen didn't stop, his palm fiercely grasped again, and an even stronger unmatched starry light shot out, striking at the falling God stone formation once more. Hiding inside the falling God stone formation, Yuming Shifang couldn't do anything but curl up like a turtle, continuously getting hit by Yi Chen. Everyone could see that Yi Chen might break the falling God stone formation's defense with another increase in attack power. The successful cultivation of all 5 great divine patterns of the eternal God body alone is enough to qualify Yi Chen for 4th place on the Star Domain God King ranking, but unexpectedly, Yi Chen has even stronger methods. What on earth is this method? This time, even the super geniuses on the Star Domain God King list and Divine Venerable list couldn't recognize Yi Chen's method. Not only the God Kings and Divine Venerables but even the sovereigns and sovereign masters in the space where countless divine kingdoms gathered at the Starry Sky Waterfall couldn't recognize it. When Yi Chen activated the method of merging the 5 great divine patterns of the eternal God body, many sovereigns stood up. When Yuming Shifang activated 5 falling God stones, even more sovereigns had surprised looks. And when Yi Chen unleashed increasingly terrifying new killer moves, almost all sovereigns stood up, incredulously asking, "What is this method? Why does it contain starry origin power?" Chapter 1093-. The Miserable Yuming Shifang. The power of the starry origin. It is a mystical cultivation technique created by prominent figures in the cosmic sea, only through which can such formidable methods be cultivated. In the cosmic divine kingdom, even mentioning God Kings, many divine venerables and sovereigns, under the guidance of the great figures of the cosmic sea, find it exceedingly difficult to cultivate the power of the starry origin, with countless individuals failing to succeed in cultivation. Now, seeing Yi Chen's displayed methods, which include the power of the starry origin, how could these divine kingdom monarchs not be utterly shocked? Moreover, these divine kingdom monarchs clearly sensed the formidable power of the starry origin that Yi Chen cultivated. It was as if it were a method that could only be owned by techniques created by figures far exceeding their understanding. These divine kingdom monarchs were still in shock. and the divine master and masters of the ancestral god temple, as well as the cosmic emperors higher up in the starry sky waterfall, were even more astounded and cried out in amazement upon witnessing Yi Chen's even mightier method. A cosmic emperor even said in disbelief, "This method isn't one that has been passed down from our ancestral god temple. To possess such terrifying combat power from the starry origin power at the god-king realm, even a cosmic emperor could not create such a method. Is there a star lord standing behind this god-king?" Considering such a possibility, the prominent figures of the ancestral god temple took a deep breath. Star Lord, the topmost figures in the cosmic sea. Even in the cosmic sea, they belong to the rarest, to the pinnacle of existences. Such beings' cultivation techniques, even the divine masters and masters of the cosmic sea find hard to obtain, let alone it passing onto the cosmic divine kingdom. Now, seeing such techniques come from a mere god-king like Yi Chen, of course, left the prominent figures of the ancestral god temple immensely shocked. It seems there is an unbelievable great figure watching over this god-king. That great figure is not a star lord of the ancestral god temple, and is very possibly another powerful star lord. However, this is also good news for our ancestral god temple, since a genius passed down the methods of a star lord appearing within our sphere of influence might shine inconceivably in this stellar domain genius battle. He might even go to the primal beginning universe and stand toe-to-toe with geniuses from other universes. After all, in other universes, it's extremely rare for anyone to receive star lord-level inheritances and succeed in cultivation. In the two major spaces within the starry sky waterfall, the monarchs and sovereigns, alongside the prominent figures of the ancestral god temple, were all stirred by Yi Chen's method. On the preparation platform, witnessing from a short distance Yi Chen's attacks growing increasingly fearsome as they struck the falling god stone formation surrounding Yuming Shifang, countless geniuses were stunned to the extreme. The geniuses who came to participate in the stellar domain genius battle felt the terrifying power of Yi Chen's attacks. True gods were utterly dumbfounded, and god kings intuitively felt they were no match for Yi Chen in the upcoming battle of the stellar domain genius battle god kings. Even god venerables of higher realms felt somewhat frightened, sensing that they might be a realm higher than Yi Chen but still couldn't match his real combat power. To know they were true gods selected from the internal battles of numerous divine kingdoms, many of whom could even contend with sovereigns, now felt they could not contend with Yi Chen, a mere god king. How could that not seem unbelievable? This Yi Chen is definitely not just the fourth in the star domain god king ranking. If Stone Ridge Palace knew he possessed such terrifying methods, his ranking on the star domain god king ranking would rise, possibly to third, second, or even first. Only after the true strongest contenders clash, we will know who will be the first in the stellar domain genius battle god-king war. Just through Yi Chen's eternal god body technique, it's already proven his strength ranks fourth in the star domain god-king ranking. And Yi Chen's even more potent method made everyone feel undoubtedly that, as rumored, Yi Chen had the strength to vie for the first in the stellar domain genius battle god-king war. Yuming Shifang is already incredible. Whether it's his Yuji Death Light or Falling God Stone, it proves he deservedly ranks fifth in the star domain god king ranking. But encountering Yi Chen, who is stronger, leaves him with only one outcome: defeat. Unless he also possesses equally potent methods as Yi Chen. Numerous gazes focused on Yuming Shifang, protected by the Falling God Stone formation, all wanting to see if Yuming Shifang had any other ways to counter. At this moment, Yuming Shifang had a terribly grim face. He completely did not expect Yi Chen to grow stronger and stronger, with each attack being more terrifying than the last. Just the first attack using the Eternal God Body was definitively an attack of a Star Domain God King ranking top 5 level, barely defended against. And now Yi Chen unleashed an even mightier attack. No matter how gifted Yuming Shifang was, after all, ranked 5th in the Star Domain God King ranking, his strongest methods had already been forced out by Yi Chen, and there were no more techniques to defend with. Sensing Yi Chen's attacks growing increasingly menacing, nearly collapsing the Falling God Stone formation, Yuming Shifang's heart also sank deeper. Yuming Shifang could feel, perhaps the next moment, he would lose face greatly. Originally, he thought his combat power and the Ace of Falling God Stone would no matter what, suppress Yi-chun or at least contend with Yi-chun to truly affirm his place on the Star Domain God King ranking. But Yuming Shifang didn't expect that. As Yi-chun said, aside from his first move, the rest were all pressed down by Yi-chun. Even having unleashed earth-shattering techniques like Yuji Deathlight and Falling God Stone, being constantly pressed by Yi-chun made him seem, in many eyes, utterly mismatched to his reputation, not holding the strength of a fifth in the Star Domain God King ranking. Originally wanting to prove his ranking should be higher, being pressing beaten down, appearing weaker instead, he feared even being fifth on the Star Domain God King ranking was not recognized by many. How could that not make Yuming Shifang want to spit blood? What on earth is Yi-chen's technique? In the end, Yuming Shifang cried out bitterly in his heart. Yi-chen's technique was, of course, the Tai Divine Power method of the Primordial Star Scriptures Tai chapter. Now, Yi-chun had not only successfully cultivated the eternal God body but also lit up the 7 star points of the Primordial Star Scriptures Tai chapter, mastering the Tai chapter fully. Furthermore, Yi-chun also possesses the heavenly forbidden flame, as well as the even more powerful Tai Yu chapter of the Primordial Star Scripture. To defeat Yuming Shifang, who is merely ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King ranking, is naturally incredibly easy. Seeing Yuming Shifang could only hide within the Falling God Stone formation, without other means of resistance, Yi-chun no longer wanted to waste time on Yuming Shifang. The starry origin power from 4 stars. This Falling God Stone formation can hardly withstand it. Then let's use the starry origin power from 5 stars to completely crush this Falling God Stone formation. Boom! In a flash of mind and spirit, Yi-chun made a fierce grab with a big hand, unleashing an even more powerful and terrifying starry radiance that struck ferociously, thoroughly smashing into the Falling God Stone formation. Bang! With a sudden explosion, the halo of the Falling God Stone formation was completely shattered, and the 5 Falling God Stones constituting the Grand Formation were blasted away by the terrifying power, even showing tiny cracks on them. Without the protection of the Falling God Stone formation, Yuming Shifang was hit by a palm strike from Yi-chun and was directly knocked off the lotus at the height of the void heaven, crashing harshly onto the preparation platform below. You have been defeated. Above the void heaven, on the lotus, Yi-chun looked down at Yuming Shifang and spoke calmly. You have been defeated. Those simple 3 words fell into the ears of Yuming Shifang and the people of Yuming Divine Country, utterly stunning them. Yuming Shifang and the people of Yuming Divine Country could hardly believe they challenged Yi-chun of a medium divine kingdom and were utterly defenselessly defeated in such a manner. To the defeated, especially such provocateurs, Yi-chun had no energy to spare on them. After defeating Yuming Shifang, Yi-chun flew directly to Zhang Yao to speak with her. Zhang Yao, representing the 10,000 Beasts Domain Divine Kingdom this time. When Yi-chun asked Zhang Yao if she wanted to challenge the occupant of the Mish Lotus platform, Zhang Yao mysteriously winked at Yi-chun, suggesting he should go in for training first, and she would carefully select a Lotus platform to challenge. Because of Yuming Shifang's failed challenge, the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom still retained the qualification to train on the Mish Lotus platform thanks to Yi-chen's terrifying power. This time, no Divine Kingdom dared to challenge. Not even the newly arrived batch of over 10,000 Divine Kingdoms. What a joke. Yi-chun simply displayed the strength to contend for first place in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle God King. With Moke Divine Country, ranked first on the Star Domain God King list, yet to arrive, who else had the strength to challenge Yi-chun? After hearing Zhang Yao's words, Yi-chun directly instructed the people of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom to continue training within the Mish Lotus platform. However, Yi-chun and Long Li remained outside. They certainly wanted to accompany Zhang Yao, awaiting her decision on the fight for the Mish Lotus platform. The unexpected was yet to come for Yi-chun. On the side of Yuming Divine Country, after Yuming Shifang's defeat to Yi-chun, he was dazed for quite a while. However, the Mish Lotus platform involved a precious training opportunity, and as such a powerful divine country, Yuming Divine Country naturally did not want to give up. Yuming Shifang challenged other occupants of the Mish Lotus platform, regaining the qualification to train on one of them. However, just as Yuming Shifang regained this qualification and before he could lead the people of Yuming Divine Country to train within, someone sought to challenge him. This time, Zhang Yao directly challenged Yuming Shifang. Zhang Yao had always remembered Yuming Shifang's provocation of Yi Chun. Even though Yuming Shifang had been defeated, she still wanted to stick up for Yi Chun. Being challenged by Zhang Yao, Yuming Shifang looked extremely displeased. On one hand, Zhang Yao represented a medium divine kingdom like the 10,000 Beasts domain divine kingdom. On the other hand, Zhang Yao was Yi Chen's woman. Yuming Shifang only felt that it was one thing not to match up to Yi Chun, but to have even a goddess king like Zhang Yao daring to challenge him was the greatest insult. Not only was Yuming Shifang's face incredibly unsightly, others also just thought Zhang Yao, provoked by Yi Chun, was simply seeking to unsettle Yuming Shifang and not necessarily capable of defeating him. But what everyone didn't expect was, in Zhang Yao's challenge, her fearsome combat power similarly defeated Yuming Shifang. Ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King ranking, Yuming Shifang had just acquired the Mish Lotus platform. But before he could set foot, he was immediately ousted. Yaoer, this girl. As Zhang Yao defeated Yuming Shifang, she smiled and winked at him, then let the people of the 10,000 Beasts Domain Divine Kingdom enter the Mish Lotus platform for training. Yi Chun chuckled and playfully pinched Zhang Yao's nose. Things did not stop there. The repeatedly thwarted Yuming Shifang could only grit his teeth and went to seize another Mish Lotus platform. As a result, he had yet again not settled into owning the Mish Lotus platform qualification before another young girl spoke. I want to challenge you too, Yuming Shifang of the Yuming Divine Country. This Mish Lotus platform belongs to me now. This time, even Chanqian, that girl, came out to put Yuming Shifang in his place. Chapter 1094, Countless Vines. When Chanqian also voiced a challenge against Yuming Shifang, all 300 true gods, god kings, and divine venerables of the Yuming Divine Country looked displeased. Yuming Shifang, a genius ranked 5th on the Star Domain God King ranking, how does it feel as if anyone can bully him now? Originally, for a character like Yuming Shifang, if not for actively challenging Yi Chun, few other Divine Kingdom teams would have challenged him. Now, not only has Yi Chun defeated him, but Zhang Yao has also defeated him. And now, a young girl wants to challenge Yuming Shifang. How could this not leave the people of the Yuming Divine Country utterly frustrated? Moreover, now that the people of the Yuming Divine Country look at Chanqian, they no longer dare to think as they did with Zhang Yao earlier, that Chanqian wouldn't be able to contend with Yuming Shifang. Chanqian stands at the forefront of the Longxian Divine Kingdom's team, which is such a powerful divine kingdom that Long Ning, ranked 1st on the Star Domain Divine Venerable list, couldn't even represent the Longxian Divine Kingdom this time. This clearly indicates that Chanqian is also extraordinary. If this Chanqian, the goddess king, also defeats Yuming Shifang, then the people of the Yuming Divine Country dared not imagine this outcome. Being defeated by 3 people in succession and having 2 Mish Lotus platforms snatched away by the goddess king would definitely be an immense humiliation for Yuming Shifang and the Yuming Divine Country. This incident might even spread to other divine kingdoms, and whenever the Star Domain Genius battle is mentioned in the future, the Yuming Divine Country and Yuming Shifang might become the laughingstock of countless people. Just hoping that this girl was only made the representative of the Longxian Divine Kingdom because of her significant background, and that her strength is not too strong. The people of the Yuming Divine Country prayed silently in their hearts. The faces of the people of the Yuming Divine Country were incredibly unsightly, and at this moment, Yuming Shifang felt as though he had thorns on his back, becoming a clown under the eyes of everyone. He could barely accept losing to Yi Chun. Losing to Zhang Yao afterward already left him extremely embarrassed. Now, another younger girl came to challenge him. This was simply a complete slap to his face. Yuming Shifang gathered all his combat power at once, unwilling to suffer 3 defeats under countless gazes. However, even if Yuming Shifang mustered all his combat power, when he truly started against Chanqian, he felt that the girl in front of him was even more frightening than Yi Chen's previous killer moves. He was unexpectedly no match for the girl before him, unable even to block a single move. Chanqian, with just one move, fiercely smashed him onto the ground of the lower combat readiness platform. Even his falling godstone formation couldn't withstand this girl's attack. Qianqian seemed by no means weaker than Yichun, and might even be stronger than Yichun. Yuming Shifeng of the Yuming divine country, you amount to nothing either. With such strength, you dare to challenge Yichun? I think you won't even make the top 10 when the real Star Domain Genius Battle God King battle begins. After defeating Yuming Shifeng, Qianqian showed no mercy, standing directly in the void, mocking Yuming Shifeng. Under Qianqian's blow, Yuming Shifeng's face turned completely red. 3 defeats made him feel utterly disgraced. Little girl, that's enough. At this moment, the Divine Venerable ranked 4th on the Star Domain Divine Venerable ranking from the Yuming Divine Country looked directly at Qianqian, speaking coldly. At the moment this Divine Venerable from the Yuming Divine Country spoke, Long Ning, who had been standing below, helplessly shaking his head at Qianqian's actions, frowned and stepped forward. What, the Yuming Divine Country God Kings can't match Qianqian, and now the Divine Venerable wants to step in to save face? Long Ning, looking coldly at the Divine Venerable of the Yuming Divine Country, spoke unceremoniously. Long Ning's act of defending Qianqian startled the Divine Venerable. The Divine Venerable realized that if he dared to speak rudely to Qianqian again, Long Ning might just flip out on him on the spot. This Divine Venerable only felt that today was a day of mourning for the Yuming Divine Country. If anyone else dared to provoke him or Yuming Shifeng, the Yuming Divine Country would unhesitatingly suppress them. But the ones who could defeat Yuming Shifeng were all incredibly powerful God King realm experts, and now on the Divine Venerable level, the strongest from the Divine Venerable list was standing up. Long Xian Divine Kingdom, deeply linked with the ancestral God Temple, had no fear whatsoever of the Yuming Divine Country. With such an existence, and in the territory of the ancestral God Temple, this Divine Venerable dare not treat Qianqian or Long Ning with the slightest incivility, and could only wave his hand, not uttering a single word more. Boring. Seeing that the Yuming Divine Country was completely subjugated this time, Qianqian stopped her blows on Yuming Shifeng and directly jumped off the lotus in the void. Qianqian acted very casually, but her defeat of Yuming Shifeng, in the eyes of countless spectators, left countless hearts tense. What's going on? Why are top-level warriors emerging one after another? Previously, Zhang Yao, who wasn't even on the Star Domain God King ranking, defeating Yuming Shifeng, had already left countless people in disbelief. Now Qianqian had straightforwardly defeated Yuming Shifeng even more cleanly, and another powerful figure who wasn't on the Star Domain God King ranking appeared. This, of course, shocked countless God Kings present. It seems that in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, the Grand Cosmic Showdown, there are countless powerful figures still hiding, yet to reveal themselves. After the real competition begins, I'm afraid it won't just be God King realm. There will also be countless unlisted figures from the True God and Divine Venerable realm who will emerge. In the end, the top 10 in the 3 realms of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle may be entirely different from those on the Star Domain True God ranking, God King ranking, and Divine Venerable list. The confrontation between the Yuming Divine Country and Yichun concluded with Yichun, Zhang Yao, and Qianqian successively defeating Yuming Shifeng. However, the aftermath of these 3 battles lingered in the minds of countless participants from numerous divine kingdoms for a long time. It also served as a warning to the countless masters on the 3 major lists to be more cautious in facing the imminent grand cosmic showdown of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle. After resolving the matter on Yichun's side, seeing Zhang Yao had also obtained the Mish Lotus platform for cultivation, Yichun, letting Zhang Yao enter for cultivation, entered the Mish Lotus platform of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Nation with Long Li for training. The Mish Lotus platform, occupied by the Divine Kingdom represented by Yichun, Long Li, and Qianqian, faced no further provocations from any other divine kingdom. However, competition over other Mish Lotus platforms continued fiercely. The teams occupying the platforms kept changing. When the last batch of Divine Kingdom teams arrived, these changes became even more frequent. There were as many as over 20,000 teams in this last batch arriving at the Starry Sky Waterfall, including the top-ranking Moke divine country of the universe. However, after Moke divine country's arrival, they didn't challenge Yichun, like the Yuming divine country did with the powerful figures on the star domain lists. Moke divine country simply had a true god representative seize a Mish Lotus platform occupied by an upper-level divine kingdom true god. Then the whole team entered the platform to start training. Even the top-ranked god-king realm figures of Moke divine country, Moko Yi and Moke Wang, didn't spare a glance at the Mish Lotus platform where Yichun and others were. It's unclear whether they were too preoccupied to notice Yichun and other god-king ranked figures or simply indifferent towards them. After the third batch of competition over the Mish Lotus platforms ended, all 180 platforms had their final occupants. Other teams could no longer seize a Mish Lotus platform, only choosing to sit down and prepare for training in the preparation square. And as all teams gathered, the ancestral god temple didn't immediately start the grand cosmic showdown of the stellar domain genius battle, instead letting everyone wait on the preparation platform. After the stars in the starry sky waterfall turned day and night for 3 days, and the starry sky waterfall became increasingly mysterious and brilliant, on the early morning of the 4th day, all teams felt a tremendous force rushing towards the preparation platform, whether they were training outside or inside the Mish Lotus platforms. Instantly, all teams inside the Mish Lotus platforms were repelled from them. At the same time, these teams, along with those training outside, all felt a giant figure descending in the void above the preparation platform. It was the silhouette of a cosmic emperor. This cosmic emperor was incomparably majestic, with divine patterns flowing across his face, and endless divine light surging from his body. Yichun realized this cosmic emperor's strength was probably stronger than Lord Emperor Yen, whom he had seen at the third star tribulation cosmic emperor realm, likely matching the starry sky demon at the peak cosmic emperor level that once devoured the true spirit divine kingdom and the star continent. This cosmic emperor was at the pinnacle level, just one step away from crossing into the Star Lord realm. In past iterations of the stellar domain genius battle, at most a master would descend, and often even the master wouldn't show up, leaving arrangements to the divine master. Now, such a powerful cosmic emperor had descended, stirring both mind and spirit among the tens of millions of participants from over 40,000 divine kingdoms present. They knew that the grand cosmic showdown of the stellar domain genius battle was finally about to begin. They also knew that the direct arrival of such a powerful cosmic emperor meant this stellar domain genius battle was truly extraordinary. As everyone looked up at the cosmic emperor in the void, this cosmic emperor spoke, his voice directly entering the minds and spirits of all present. I am the 12th ranking cosmic emperor of the ancestral god temple. You may call me Emperor Liao. The grand cosmic showdown of the stellar domain genius battle will be arranged by me. Today, we will conduct the first round of battles in the grand showdown of the 3 realms, True God, God King, and Divine Venerable of the stellar domain genius battle. This first round is named Countless Vines. After Emperor Liao announced the name of the first round, he pointed his large hand towards the starry sky waterfall's higher points. Whoa! As if an endless light rained down. From the lowest point where the starry sky waterfall plunged, countless vines emerged. These countless vines hung down from the starry sky waterfall's falling point, hanging down above the void heaven on the preparation platform, over everyone's heads. Chapter 1095, Climbing Star Vines, Absorbing Divine Light. All the participants, including Yichun, looked up at the countless vines hanging down from the point where the starry sky waterfall cascaded down. Yichun noticed that each of the countless vines was as thick as several dozen people holding hands in a circle. A person climbing these vines might not be able to grasp the entire vine, making it similar to a small insect climbing a gigantic tree. The countless thick vines all drooped from the starry sky waterfall, occupying only a small area below it, which highlighted the enormous size of the starry sky waterfall. What caught Yichun's attention even more was that each of the countless vines was shrouded in layers of mysterious mist, making it impossible to see the specific situation on the vines. The first round of competition in the stellar domain genius battle, mentioned by the cosmic emperor Emperor Liao, was likely related to what was on these vines. As Yichun speculated, Emperor Liao began to explain the rules of the first round, the countless vines competition. The first round, the Countless Vines, will be conducted in 3 major areas, namely the True God area, God King area, and Divine Venerable area. When the Stellar Domain Genius battle officially begins, the vines in the True God area will all turn red. Those in the God King area will turn purple, and those in the Divine Venerable area will turn silver. All participants can only climb the vines in the area corresponding to their realm. Entering another area's vines will result in immediate elimination. When you start climbing these vines, they will fully activate and transform into the mystical star vines. These star vines possess immense divine might. You will not be able to fly on them, only climb section by section. Also, the star vines are fraught with numerous dangers, and only the strong enough can pass through. Of course, these star vines also hold opportunities granted by the ancestral god temple known as Star Vine Divine Light. Upon overcoming certain dangers, you may absorb the Star Vine Divine Light, which can greatly enhance your physical body, divine power, and divine soul, serving as an incredibly beneficial tool. Your performance in this competition will be determined by the order in which you reach the top of the star vines. This all-universe battle of the Stellar Domain Genius battle involves 43,697 cosmic divine kingdoms, with 100 participants from each realm of each divine kingdom. In other words, there are initially 4,369,700 participants in the True God battle, God King battle, and Divine Venerable battle, respectively. However, after this first round of competition, within the stipulated time, only the top 1 million from each realm will proceed to the next round. Moreover, the total time allotted for climbing the star vines is only 3 days. If fewer than 1 million participants reach the top of the star vines within these 3 days, all remaining contestants will be eliminated. Therefore, you must not only focus on climbing the star vines and seizing the opportunity to absorb the star vine divine light, but also be mindful of the time to avoid being eliminated by failing to reach the top in time. Remember, in this first round, at least 3,369,700 participants from each realm will be eliminated. I hope you are not among the eliminated. Emperor Liao's words resonated in the ears of all participants. Everyone looked up at the countless vines above, their mind and spirit shaking. With over 40,000 cosmic divine kingdoms and over 4 million competitors of the same realm, in this first round, more than half will be eliminated, and only the top 1 million will advance to the second round. Moreover, if the stipulated time is exhausted and fewer than 1 million complete the competition, only those who finish will move on, with the rest eliminated. This signifies that after the first round, the vast majority in the field will lose eligibility for further rounds in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle All-Universe Clash. No matter what, I must pass this first round. Our Divine Kingdom has promised that once we enter the second round, there will be even greater rewards. Countless true gods, god kings, and divine venerables cheered themselves silently. Many felt excited, and even some were afraid. After all, although many within their divine kingdoms are strong enough to represent their cosmic divine kingdoms in the all-universe clash, now they face the strongest from all divine kingdoms in this universe. Many still lack absolute confidence in passing this first round. Amidst the crowd, Yichun held Zhang Yao and Long Li's hands, their gazes fixed on the top of the countless vines. Whether it was Yichun, Zhang Yao, or Long Li, their gazes showed no hint of fluctuation. Their target was certainly not just passing this first round. They aimed for the final top 10 or even the strongest. They had absolute confidence in passing this first round. Like Yi Chun and his group, the strongest in the arena, such as Chan Qian, Long Ning, and Moko Yi, also had absolute confidence in passing the first round. They were more concerned about what lay atop the star vines. As all contestants entertained various thoughts, Emperor Liao looked directly at everyone and announced loudly, "The Stellar Domain Genius Battle All-Universe Clash, First Round Competition, Countless Vines Competition, officially begins." Swish! At the instant the Cosmic Emperor, Emperor Liao, announced, all participants noticed a change in the countless vines above. It seemed as if, in that very moment, endless starlight descended upon the vines from the starry sky waterfall above, washing over all the vines. Instantly, all the vines began to glitter with starry light, and a unique color emerged on each vine. Red vines for the true God battle, purple vines for the God-King battle, silver vines for the divine venerable battle. Each color's vines gathered together, occupying a large area. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The moment Emperor Liao announced the start of the competition, and the moment these vines transformed into star vines. Changing their colors, some contestants had already flown towards the vine regions they intended to climb. When these contestants landed on a specific star vine in their designated area, they instantly felt a terrifying force emitted by the entire star vine, preventing them from flying over it. They could only climb it inch by inch, and if they weren't careful, they might fall off the star vine. If they fell off, they couldn't fly halfway up the star vine to continue climbing. They had to start over from the very bottom, which would surely waste a lot of time. All contestants who set foot on the star vines proceeded with extreme caution. Let's begin as well. Lear, you head to the divine venerable area. Yaoer will each choose a star vine in the God King area. As Yichun watched the countless contestants, like locusts, fly towards the star vines region, he called out to Zhang Yao and Long Li. The two women nodded in agreement. Then all three of them took flight as well. There were countless star vines hanging down from the starry sky waterfall, and even though there were over 10 million contestants from the three realms combined, most of the star vines were still unoccupied. Yichun and Zhang Yao each flew directly onto a purple vine. Meanwhile, Long Li flew to the bottom of a silver vine. Once all the contestants had settled on the star vines, the stellar domain genius battle, the cosmic showdown, officially began. It's begun. The real beginning of the stellar domain genius battle. As the contestants started the first round of competition, all the divine kingdom sovereigns and sovereigns in the viewing space above the starry sky waterfall stood up, their eyes unblinkingly watching the countless vine competitions projected in the void. At this time, there were similarly earth-shattering vibrations occurring in numerous areas across countless divine kingdoms in this universe. That's heavens. That's the scene of the stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown. Look, at the top of the void projection. It's labeled as the stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown, arranged by the ancestral god temple. Numerous areas across countless divine kingdoms in this universe suddenly displayed the scenes of countless vines beneath the starry sky waterfall, showing the scenes of numerous contestants competing. This universe-wide projection was unexpected by all citizens of the cosmic divine kingdoms. Even the divine venerables and sovereigns within the divine kingdoms didn't expect it. Heavens! What an astonishing feat this is! Projecting the stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown here. Such a miracle is something even the legendary cosmic sea divine master might not achieve. Perhaps not even the master or cosmic emperor could do it. After all, this involves projecting the divine might simultaneously across countless divine kingdoms in the universe. Could it be the Star Lord of the ancestral God Temple who made it possible for us to witness such a miracle? As countless citizens of countless divine kingdoms marveled at the projection of the stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown, they failed to notice a figure seated deep within the universe's stars. This figure's gaze seemed to span endless distances, clearly perceiving the occurrences at the starry sky waterfall. This figure's palm was spread open in front, with endless divine light seemingly surging in it, dispersing towards all divine kingdoms in this universe. The projection of the stellar domain genius battle cosmic showdown in numerous territories of all divine kingdoms was caused by the divine light in this figure's palm. If any towering figure saw this figure, they would surely be shocked, as this figure was far mightier than Emperor Liao, who was at the peak of the cosmic emperor realm. This figure was indeed a star lord. Lord Yuan Wu has gone to the Azure Sky Star Sea. He specially arranged this stellar domain genius battle for this time, probably because there are special circumstances happening in the Azure Sky Star Sea. After dealing with this stellar domain genius battle, it's about time I head to the Azure Sky Star Sea. Seated deep within the cosmic starry sky, this figure muttered softly. Chapter 1096. Dumbfounded. Under the starry sky waterfall. Above the endless star vine. Millions of true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables began the first round of the cosmic showdown of the stellar domain genius battle. The challenge difficulty in the true god, divine king, and divine venerable areas is completely different. However, even in the true god area, which has the lowest difficulty, the star vine is extremely dangerous. After all, this is a competition challenge that involves eliminating millions of participants. Some weaker true gods encountered danger within a few breaths after climbing onto the star vine. On the star vine, countless meteor-like giant stones fell, these stones pouring down like a rain of rocks, rapidly smashing towards the contestants on the star vine. These terrifying giant stones possess a killing force on each one enough to easily kill an ordinary high-level divine king. All the stones combined have an inconceivable killing force. One must know, this is the star vine in the true god area, with such terrifying stone-killing formations. This demands that the true gods competing in the cosmic showdown of the stellar domain genius battle must possess absolute strength to counter the killing force beyond an ordinary high-level divine king. Bang! In an instant, some weaker true gods couldn't withstand the bombardment of the stone rain and fell directly from the star vine. After these true gods fell from the star vine, the terrifying killing force on the star vine disappeared, and the prohibition on flying on it disappeared as well. However, for these true gods knocked down, the progress they had made climbing was directly nullified, and they can only start climbing again. If they can't resist the stone rain formation ahead, they will be blasted down again later. In an instant, these weaker true gods were left far behind by many stronger true gods. The dangers on the star vine in the True God Challenge area are certainly not limited to just the stone rain formations. The stone rain formations are the weakest of the dangers. Further up the star vine, countless true gods faced even more terrifying threats. Among these are dangers in various forms, such as rain of fire and lightning, and even leaves on the vine transformed into terrifying war soldiers, forming war soldier-killing formations, attacking these true gods. On the star vine, true gods continued to be knocked down towards the lower parts of the vine, and more were knocked off the vine entirely. One must know, this is the weakest true god competition area among the three realms of the stellar domain genius battle. So terrifying. In the divine king area, where Yichun was located, the purple vine was even more dangerous than in the true god area. Some divine kings climbed to several thousand feet high on the star vine, only to suddenly fall into a deep pit on the vine. Inside the deep pit was a space filled with killing force, with terrifying flame giants guarding the exit of the pit. One must defeat the flame giants to leave the pit and continue upward on the star vine. Some divine kings on the star vine encountered terrifying killing force light formations that directly trapped them in the formation. Without absolute strength, one couldn't escape the confinement of the killing force light formation. There were also divine kings who were entangled by countless thin tendrils released by the star vine, completely immobilized and unable to move forward. In the divine king area, just like the true god area, countless people fell behind. Only the strongest can proceed unimpeded. Among these strongest is, of course, Yichun. What kind of figure is Yichun? Even if the star vine is to eliminate millions of divine kings in the field, it will absolutely not eliminate Yichun. As soon as Yichun stepped onto the star vine, he shot upward like lightning. Yichun also encountered the dangers of the vine pits that other divine kings faced. However, just after Yichun fell into the pit, he struck the flame giants guarding the pit dead on the spot with a single palm and exited the pit instantly. As for the killing force light formations encountered by other divine kings, these formations might block thousands of divine kings, but in front of Yichun, they posed no difficulty at all. The eternal god body fire divine pattern on Yichun's body roared and released, instantly dissolving the killing force light formation, with Yichun's forward steps not pausing at all. Not to mention the countless small tendrils that entangled divine kings. Swoosh! A flying sword flew directly out from within Yichun. The flying sword cleared the path in front of Yichun, with any small tendrils being completely sliced apart before they could touch Yichun. The dangers on the star vine were merely obstacles for weaker divine kings. After all, this is just the first round of trials. In the face of someone like Yi Chun, who could contend for the top of the God-King battle in the cosmic showdown of the Stellar Domain Genius battle, it posed no difficulty at all. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yi Chun's climbing speed on the star vine was extremely fast. In no time, he distanced himself from countless divine kings and advanced at the forefront with the strongest few divine kings. So fast! Wow! Such fast climbing speed! This is the cosmic showdown of the Stellar Domain Genius battle, where we can see from the innumerable divine kings below getting constantly obstructed and advancing very slowly that the challenge is extremely difficult. But look at those few people at the forefront. How are they climbing so fast? These people might be the true strong contenders of this Stellar Domain Genius battle, showing their prowess right from the start. People from countless divine kingdoms and countless regions saw the circumstances of the Stellar Domain Genius battle through the cosmic projection on the void heaven, and their gazes immediately focused on the dozen or so figures at the forefront of the three major competition areas. Chapter 1097. That's Yi Chun. And Long Li. Yi Chun is at the top of the purple vines in the middle. He's climbing at such speed that it's faster than Moko Yi, who is rumored to be ranked first in the Star Domain God King ranking. And Long Li, she's in the silver vine area, moving like an elf, swiftly leaping on the vines without pausing, going all the way up, at the divine kingdom of Wanmu Mountain, across the 18 continents of stars at the Supreme Divine Institute. A grand projection from the entire universe appeared. Numerous disciples of the Supreme Divine Institute instantly recognized Yi Chun and Long Li, who were participating in the Stellar Domain Genius battle. When they saw Yi Chun and Long Li leading at the front, countless disciples of the Supreme Divine Institute screamed in surprise and delight. How is Yi Chun so fast? The star vines Yi Chun chose were not far from the ones Moko Yi was on. Moko Yi also recognized the figure of Yi Chun, who was swiftly climbing upwards. Originally, Moko Yi believed his climbing speed should be the fastest among the divine kings, but he didn't expect Yi Chun, ranked fourth in the Star Domain God King ranking not far away, to be just as fast, if not faster, overtaking him in a moment of distraction. What surprised Moko Yi even more was that while he couldn't observe all the surrounding vines within his view, he noticed several figures moving at a speed no slower than his. This made Moko Yi even more alert. The Stellar Domain Genius battle, universal grand battle indeed, cannot be underestimated. As expected, there are many hidden masters. Even though the first round is just for the qualifiers to enter the second round, not concerning high or low scores, I must not be weaker than others since I'm ranked first on the Star Domain God King ranking. With this thought, Moko Ye's clothes suddenly vibrated, and a more intense divine light enveloped him. Instantly, his speed increased several times, and he surged towards the higher levels. From further afar, looking at the countless vines, one could see millions of figures on various vines, climbing at different speeds, at varying heights on the star vines. From a distance, it looked chaotic, like countless little bugs, constantly swapping places and advancing upwards. Among the countless crowds, Chanxian, who had the qualification to compete for first place in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Universal Grand Battles Battle of the God Kings, was not leading the climb but positioned at the upper section of the crowd. Chanxian's eyes gazed around. Moko Yi could only see a small area of star vines around him, but Chanxian seemed able to see all the star vines in the God King area. The first round competition just requires arriving at the destination within 3 days, entering the top million. Why strive so hard, really? Absolutely no sense of modesty. This isn't about ranking. I'm not exerting myself much. Chanxian mumbled a few words, steadily climbing upwards. Yet even though she wasn't fully focused on climbing speed, her progress was faster than the majority of divine kings fighting hard. Moreover, like Yi Chun, none of the dangers on the star vines posed any threat to her. There are indeed quite a few hidden geniuses this time. While climbing and observing around, Chanxian noticed many fast-moving divine kings on the star vines who were previously unknown and only showing strength now after the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Universal Grand Battle began. That goddess king Jiangyao who likes Yi Chun, she's pretty strong too. Her speed is not much slower than Yi Chen's. That's Star Vine Divine Light. Yi Chen has already reached the first Star Vine Divine Light spot and is absorbing the Star Vine Divine Light. That Star Vine Divine Light looks interesting. I need to hurry and see what it's like after absorbing it. Qianqian's gaze occasionally flitted towards the surrounding geniuses and occasionally towards Zhang Yao and Yi Chen. Upon seeing Yi Chen pause at a dazzling divine light location, Qianqian's starry eyes shifted towards the intriguing Star Vine Divine Light above. Desiring to quickly reach the top spot, Qianqian's speed instantly soared, surpassing countless people and rushing upward at incredible speed. At this moment, Yi Chen was the first to arrive at the first Star Vine Divine Light spot. As endless divine light poured onto Yi Chen, his eyes slightly squinted. The Star Vine Divine Light seems to contain some starry origin power. Earlier, I wanted to absorb starry origin power from the Starry Sky waterfall, but it was sealed. Unexpectedly, the Stellar Domain Genius Battle began releasing starry origin power. Sensing the starry origin power, Yi Chen immediately opened the origin star aperture he cultivated within, crazily drawing in the starry origin power from the Star Vine Divine Light. After Yi Chen absorbed the first Star Vine Divine Light, feeling the increased quantity of starry origin power within him, his eyes lit up. Suddenly, an idea flashed in Yi Chen's mind. For this first round competition, qualifying for the second round is enough. No need to be the first to reach the higher destination. Why not take this opportunity to climb more star vines and absorb more starry origin power? Yi Chen glanced around. While Moko Yi could only see the surrounding small area of star vines, Qianqian could see the entire God King area's star vines, but Yi Chen could clearly see all the countless vines. Furthermore, Yi Chen could see a new, giant platform at the very top of the countless vines, which was the end point of the first round competition. During the previous preparation time, although Yi Chen couldn't absorb the starry origin power from the Starry Sky waterfall, he operated the primordial star scripture and Taiyu chapter, fully comprehending the space star aperture of the Starry Sky waterfall. His mastery and perception of the Starry Sky waterfall far exceeded all the competitors present. Yi Chen was absolutely confident in climbing more star vines, absorbing more starry origin power, while also entering the second round. Once Yi Chen formed this thought, something happened that made many in the arena and countless spectators gape. All the audience saw that Yi Chen's climbing speed remained unchanged, still one of the fastest. However, upon reaching the top of the vine, he didn't choose to leap over into the destination area, but instead fell directly off the vine. Yi Chen fell to the bottom and started climbing anew on another vine. While countless people were laboriously striving to reach the destination, Yi Chen had already started his assault on the second vine. Chapter 1098. Aurora Flush. That Yi Chen. How is he so fast? Moko Yi, who was trailing behind Yi Chen, saw Yi Chen climbing the star vines nearby and heading toward the finish faster than him. This left him both shocked and shamed. What shocked Moko Yi was that even though he climbed the star vines at his fastest speed, he still couldn't catch up with Yi Chen. What shamed him was the thought that, even though this first round of competition wouldn't determine rankings, if Yi Chen reached the finish first, it would be a huge blow to his reputation as the top-ranked figure on the Star Domain God King ranking and the Divine King in whom the Moko Divine Country placed great hope. This first round is about both combat power and speed, but it's mainly about speed. Losing to Yi Chen like this, I'm not convinced. Just as Moko Yi was despairing over Yi Chen nearly reaching the finish line while being unable to catch up, he was feeling frustrated. Suddenly, Moko Yi saw Yi Chen fall directly from the top of the star vine. What happened? Is there some particular danger at the top of the star vine? Did Yi Chen get knocked down? No matter what, Moko Yi couldn't have imagined that after climbing one star vine, Yi Chen didn't want to stop there. Instead of going to the finish line, he chose to climb a second star vine. However, at this moment, Moko Yi didn't have time to think too much. Finally seeing Yi Chen having trouble, of course, he seized this precious opportunity to overtake him. Moko Yi cautiously watched out for potential threats at the top of the star vine while climbing up swiftly. In the end, When Moko Yi was the first to reach the finishing platform above the star vine, he encountered no special dangers. There's no danger at the end stage of this star vine. So why did Yi Chun suddenly fall? Standing first on the finishing platform, Moko Yi frowned directly. But in the next moment, his frown relaxed, and he showed a faint smile. He had no intention of overthinking Yi Chen's situation. Victory crowns the king. This time, he was the first to reach the finish platform of the first round, and that was enough. No matter what happened to Yi Chun, he is indeed powerful. However, that Qianqian, rumored to be strong, seems to be just SOSO. After Moko Yi reached the finish line, he saw several figures arrive shortly after, but after watching more than 10 people, he still didn't see Qianqian, causing him to look down on her even more. Yi Chun and Qianqian didn't care about Moko Ye's thoughts at all. They didn't care about Moko Yi being the first to reach the end of the first round either. In Qianqian's view, since rankings aren't decided in the first round, she'd rather climb up easily into the next round than exert herself to fight for a meaningless first place. In Yi Chen's eyes, the false reputation of the first round is incomparable to absorbing more star vine divine light. Wow! Amid astonished gazes, Yi Chun directly fell to the bottom of the star vine. During his fall, he had already sent a voice transmission to Zhang Yao, so there was no need to worry that Zhang Yao would worry about him. Once he fell to the bottom of the star vine, Yi Chun flew directly to the end of another star vine and began climbing upwards again. Even though Yi Chun started climbing the second star vine, he quickly passed one divine king after another, still climbing the initial star vine, reaching the top again in a short time. At this point, even if Yi Chun climbed onto the finishing platform, he would definitely make it into the top 100. However, just as Yi Chun didn't care about being first in the first round, he cared even less about being in the top 100 now. Yi Chun fell again, flew down, and started climbing the third star vine. The continuous climbing twice already revealed Yi Chen's intent to many. Yi Chun he wants to climb more star vines. Is it for the star vine divine light? The first one to reach the finishing platform, Moko Yi, saw Yi Chun fall again just before reaching the finish and suddenly understood. What kind of person is Moko Yi? Of course, he saw that the star vine of this first round posed no danger to Yi Chun at all. Under such circumstances, Yi Chen's repeated climbing was surely not out of boredom but for some benefit, the only benefit being the star vine divine light on the star vines. The star vine divine light is indeed a good thing. If not for competing for the first place in this first round, I'd also like to absorb more star vine divine light from the vines. Understanding the significance of Yi Chen's actions, Moko Yi felt discontent in his heart. He knew he'd miss out on considerable star vine divine light this time for the sake of the empty glory of first place. Even Moko Yi saw through Yi Chen's intention, and all the leaders of divine countries and sovereigns in the two large spaces above the starry sky waterfall, as well as big figures from the ancestral god temple, naturally understood Yi Chen's motive for repeatedly climbing new star vines. This Yi Chun is indeed extraordinary. The star vine divine light on the vines is a benefit our ancestral god temple provided to the participants in this first round. Yi Chun not only was the first to reach the finish line but also the first to understand and leverage this opportunity to absorb more benefits. The ranking of the first round means nothing. It's unlike the Stellar Domain Genius Battle Decisive ranking that involves earth-shattering rewards. Instead of competing for rankings, it's better to secure more benefits in this first round. The Divine Master, Masters, and Cosmic Emperors at the Ancestral God Temple nodded as they watched Yi Chen's actions. Yi Chun from the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom is indeed formidable. His climbing speed seems even faster than Moko Ye's. Looks like the Moko Divine Country has truly encountered a worthy opponent this time. In the space where the Divine Kingdom leaders reside, countless Divine Kingdom leaders nodded continuously as they observed Yi Chen's actions and his terrifying climbing speed. Only the citizens of countless regions across numerous divine kingdoms, watching the final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle through the great cosmic projection, initially did not understand Yi Chen's intentions. When they saw Yi Chun fall from the highest point, many citizens and places across Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom let out incredulous gasps. When Yichun finally climbed back to the top and was still able to maintain a position within the top 100, many citizens of Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom breathed a sigh of relief, only to see Yichun fall off the star vines again, causing their hearts to tighten once more. Indeed, many citizens pondered in their hearts. What's going on with this Yichun? Why does he fall at the final stage every time? Only in areas where powerful figures such as in the Supreme Divine Institute, the Divine Kingdom's capital, and the northern region of the Divine Kingdom were present did the sovereigns and others feel that Yichun was seeking more benefits and chose not to rush directly to the finish. Some sovereigns who guessed Yichun's intentions observed Yichun climbing the star vines repeatedly, surpassing each time, only to fall again, absorbing the star vine divine light time and time again. As more reached the final platform, Yichun kept climbing, prompting some to murmur in their hearts, "Don't overplay your hand. After all, the star vine is too long and there are too many of them." Yichun can't observe the situation of all the star vines or the other contestants. If he fails to make it into the top 1 million in the end, it would be an enormous joke. Yichun was unaware of the concerns of these sovereigns. Additionally, those sovereigns were also unaware of Yichun's control over the countless star vines and his control over his own climbing speed. Finally, during the entire 3-day first round of the competition, Yichun only reached the final platform in the second half of the third day. He directly squeezed into the top 960,000, earning a spot in the second round. Yichun also maximized the time he could use for climbing the star vines. If he had continued to climb the next star vine, estimating the climbing speeds of others, he wouldn't have made it into the top 1 million in time, so Yichun chose to end the first round at the optimal moment. At that point, the number of star vines Yichun climbed reached an astonishing 32. Yichun absorbed the star vine divine light from all 32 star vines. At this moment, the starry origin power contained in the star vine divine light Yichun absorbed was comparable in quantity to the starry origin power he had previously absorbed from the sixth star on the star disk. The starry origin power within Yichun surged dramatically once again. Compared to Yichun, the vast majority of those who completed the competition only climbed one star vine, absorbing the starry origin power from just one star vine. The number of star vines Yichun climbed was dozens of times that of these people. Although a few powerful figures like Yichun climbed multiple times, absorbing more star vine divine light, their speed, explosive force, and timing of decisions could not compare to Yichun at all. Yichun surpassed these people several times over, even dozens of times over. Finally, the 3-day first round of the competition ended completely. This time, the great cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle did not disappoint, as it drew elite contestants from all the divine kingdoms across the universe. In the time allocated for competition, over 1 million people in the True God, Divine King, and Divine Venerable competition zones completed their tasks without wasting any spots. 1 million people each advanced to the second round. After the first round ended, the results of various divine kingdoms appeared directly on the great cosmic projection void heaven light curtain, visible in the starry sky waterfall space where the sovereigns and divinities resided. 1 million participants from the True God, Divine King, and Divine Venerable categories each made it to the second round. The divine kingdom with the most participants advancing to the second round was the Moke Divine Country. Moke Divine Country, as expected of the number 1 divine kingdom in this universe, saw all 100 true gods, 100 divine kings, and 100 divine venerables participating in the great cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle advance to the second round. Like Moke Divine Country, powerful upper divine kingdoms such as Longshan Divine Kingdom and Yuming Divine Country also nearly filled or met their quotas going into the second round. However, their overall climbing speeds slightly lagged behind Moke Divine Country. This outcome brought a smile to the face of the Moke Divine Country's leader, who had previously shown mild dissatisfaction with Yichun's performance surpassing Moko Yi. Of course, the results for upper divine kingdoms were all good. However, many medium divine kingdoms saw a lot of participants eliminated. In lower divine kingdoms, even more participants were eliminated. Some divine kingdom teams, consisting of 300 participants across 3 realms, lost more than half of their participants after the first round. The Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, where Yichun was located, had upper-middle results in the first round. Of the 300 participants, 96 were eliminated in the first round, leaving 214 true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables to take on the next round's challenge. Of course, the most attention-grabbing seed-level contestants of the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, Yichun, Long Li, and others, successfully advanced. Jiang Yao, Chanqian, and others also advanced to the next round. Once the first round's competition was completely over, more than 3 million eliminated contestants for each realm were all gathered on a massive star platform by the ancestral god temple to watch the subsequent competitions. The Cosmic Emperor, Emperor Liao, responsible for this great cosmic final battle of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, then announced the rules for the second round. The second round of the competition is called Aurora Flush. It will take place on this platform where the starry sky waterfall descends. Wow. Looking up from the topmost platform where all the first-round passers stand on the star vines, you can see that this topmost platform directly bears the endless water flow of the starry sky waterfall from hundreds of feet above, where it completely vanishes. Chapter 1099. Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. Aurora Flush. Upon hearing Emperor Liao mention the name of the second round of competition, all the participants who entered the Cosmic Showdown second round of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle turned their gaze towards the Cosmic Emperor, Emperor Liao, and carefully listened as this Emperor Liao explained the rules of the second round. Emperor Liao also continued, "The platform you are currently standing on is the same platform subjected to the endless flow of the starry sky waterfall crashing down and disappearing. When the second round of competition starts, the water flow of the starry sky waterfall will further cascade down from hundreds of feet above, directly impacting the position you are standing on. Of course, the might of the starry sky waterfall is immense. With your realm, even the strongest among you cannot withstand the full impact of the starry sky waterfall. In this second round of competition, Aurora Flush, the starry sky waterfall will only impact you with a very minute fraction of its divine might. And this divine might will gradually increase, continuously knocking out and eliminating the weaker among you. In the second round, there are 1 million true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables entering, but after this round ends, only 100,000 from each realm will proceed to the next. In other words, during this round of competition, under the Aurora Flush of the starry sky waterfall, 90% of each realm will be eliminated. Certainly, if in the final moments several participants fail to withstand the Aurora Flush and are simultaneously eliminated, the number who advance to the third round might be less than 100,000 for each realm. At the same time, each realm will resist the Aurora Flush in specially designated areas. True gods have the True God Competition Area. Divine kings have the Divine King Competition Area. Divine venerables have the Divine Venerable Competition Area. Whether you can pass this second round depends on your endurance under the Aurora Flush of the starry sky waterfall. Moreover, I remind you that when the Aurora Flush begins, you can stand in the weakest part of the Aurora Flush area for your respective realm to avoid being swept away and eliminated. However, if you are daring enough and strong enough, you may venture into the area with the strongest impact from the Aurora Flush. There, the threat you face will be the greatest, and the chances of elimination the highest. But if you endure it, you will obtain benefits bestowed by the ancestral god temple in the area with the strongest impact from the Aurora Flush. The benefits in this second round are even more precious than the benefits of the first round's countless vines, star vine divine light. Whether you can obtain the benefits of the starry sky waterfall's flush depends on your own skills. After Emperor Liao finished speaking, the 3 million participants across the 3 realms all raised their heads, looking up at the starry sky waterfall above. This second round of competition turns out to be the falling flush of the starry sky waterfall. Standing firmly among the top 100,000 of each realm against the Aurora Flush from the waterfall's impact is the ticket to the next round. If the others are strong enough, the waterfall's impact will increase. Altogether, this round of competition requires eliminating at least 90% from each realm before it concludes, directly necessitating the participants must be stronger than 90% of others to advance to the next round. Moreover, the place with the strongest impact from the starry sky waterfall's flush holds the greatest opportunities. Hidden within are treasures even more valuable than the star vine divine light. It should be known that the participants standing at this second-round competition site are exceptional geniuses who successfully climbed the star vines in the previous round, appreciating the preciousness of the star vine divine light. Now, something even more valuable is present in this second round, naturally making countless people eagerly anticipate. A few geniuses with absolute confidence in themselves have already decided, regardless of the risks in the strongest impact areas of the Starry Sky waterfall, they will definitely withstand the flush there to seize the opportunities within. The region true gods can stand will turn red. The region divine kings can stand will turn purple. The region divine venerables can stand will turn silver. Now, everyone stand ready. The second round of competition is about to begin. With a surge of emotions within countless minds and spirits, Emperor Liao directly announced the start of the second round of competition. Following Emperor Liao's announcement, the platforms the participants stood on immediately transformed into 3 large areas, presenting themselves in red, purple, and silver. Everyone promptly flew towards their designated areas to stand firm in the arena. The Starry Sky waterfall envelopes the entire platform, with no indication of where the strongest aurora flush impact will be in the standing areas. Participants can only observe once the impact begins, when everyone stands firm. The next moment, with a boom, as if endless deafening roars exploded beside the participants, everyone felt the second round of competition had officially arrived, and the Starry Sky waterfall above seemed to channel infinite power downward. Strong geniuses sensed something was amiss just as countless streams of the waterfall rushed down, swiftly avoiding their previous standing positions. Yet many participants didn't dodge quickly enough at this instant. At the moment the waterfall fell and crashed, hundreds of people in areas covered by the strongest impact were directly swept away, flying off the platform. This impact was extremely powerful. Even in the 3 areas where the strongest impact stands were powerful true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables, nobody could resist under the impact. Virtually everyone standing at these strongest impact areas was blown away, directly tumbling off the platform. Falling off the platform means being eliminated from the competition. The moment the competition began, hundreds of people were eliminated. Of course, the number of eliminations was certainly not limited to these, as countless individuals in the areas with the strongest impact were eliminated. Even those in less intense areas could not withstand it and were directly knocked out. As the Starry Sky waterfall began its assault, countless auroras gushed downward, immediately eliminating thousands of participants. Those who were eliminated exclaimed in surprise, but once they fell off the platform, they couldn't fly back up, having no choice but to accept the result of being eliminated. They could only be transported to the viewing area set by the ancestral god temple for eliminated participants, unable to participate in the subsequent matches. This second round of competition, Aurora Flush, was designed to eliminate as many as 900,000 people in each realm. Having eliminated only thousands so far, it was certainly not enough. As it went on, the impact of the Starry Sky waterfall grew stronger with each wave, forcing many who were originally in the center of the impact to move outward as they couldn't withstand it. However, there were others who moved against the tide, heading from the edge directly to the areas of strongest impact as soon as the Starry Sky waterfall began. These individuals were undoubtedly the strongest batch in this stellar domain genius battle, the ultimate cosmic showdown. Among them was Yi Chen. The area where Yi Chen originally stood was the center of the Divine King competition region. Yet surprisingly, it wasn't the area with the strongest impact. The instant the aurora flush of the Starry Sky waterfall began, Yi Chen sensed that the strongest impact was at another region thousands of meters away on the platform. Without hesitation, with a boom of his divine power, Yi Chen charged towards the area of strongest impact. This force that countless people avoided did not cause Yi Chen any damage or affect him at all, allowing him to stand firmly in the area of strongest impact. Even as the impact of the Starry Sky waterfall grew stronger, and the intensity of the strongest area increased, Yi Chen's posture did not waver in the slightest. It was as if his feet were fixed in place, unmoving, as if the force that had eliminated thousands and was gradually eliminating tens of thousands had no effect on him at all. Similarly to Yichun in the Battle of the God Kings, figures like Zhang Yao, Chanqian, Moko Yi, Mokwang, and even Yuming Shifeng, who had been defeated by Yichun, were all extraordinarily powerful, and they too flew to the area of strongest impact, standing in this region. Initially, the outstanding talents who flooded into the area of strongest impact numbered in the thousands, making up 5% to 6% of the 1 million participants in each realm of this second round. Upon arriving in this area, everyone began seeking the benefits mentioned by Emperor Liao that the ancestral god temple had hidden. What exactly is the ancestral god temple hiding as a reward in the second round of the competition? However, even standing in the strongest area of impact, the thousands initially couldn't detect anything. Of course, there were exceptions among these individuals. Almost at the instant of standing in the area of strongest impact, Yichun felt his entire mind was enveloped by a rolling thunderous sound. This sound seemed to be the impact of the starry sky waterfall, yet it also seemed like a super-powerful entity reciting an extremely strange secret tome. In an instant, this rolling thunderous sound in Yi Chen's mind formed 6 large characters: Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. And then, with the continued impact of the starry sky waterfall, Yi Chen sensed a more detailed explanation following the 6 large characters. Detailed information about the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. The benefit in the second round of the competition turned out to be a mysterious cultivation technique hidden by the ancestral god temple within the impact of the starry sky waterfall. The Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound cultivation technique. Upon encountering this technique, Yi Chen immediately sensed its immense power. This was a technique that exceeded the heaven grade, possibly a unique divine sound secret technique of the Cosmic Sea Ancestral God Temple. This secret technique not only had strong attack power, but also specifically aided in cultivating divine sound, greatly enhancing cultivation efficiency. I wonder if Zhang Yao has received this divine sound inheritance? After the second round of competition began, Yi Chen discovered that everyone seemed isolated. Even though they were constantly impacted on the same platform, they couldn't communicate or transmit messages with others, nor could they help anyone else resist the starry sky waterfall's impact. Everyone had to face everything from the starry sky waterfall on their own. What Yi Chen didn't know was, at the moment he received the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound, not only did Zhang Yao fail to comprehend this mysterious cultivation inheritance, but even Chanqian did not realize this divine sound inheritance. Of course, Moko Yi, Mokwang, and others similarly found nothing. At this moment, only Yi Chen had already obtained the divine sound inheritance, and he alone had started cultivating, until the impact of the starry sky waterfall reached an even stronger level, with more people being thrown off the platform and the number of eliminations surpassing 100,000. Only then did Chanqian and Zhang Yao begin to feel the inheritance of the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. Those who obtained the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound quickly began cultivating under the ever-terrifying impact of the strongest area, thanks to the starry sky waterfall's flush. Chapter 1100. 12 Divine Lights. At the heights of the starry sky waterfall, within the space where the powerful beings of the ancestral god temple reside. As they watched the true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables emerging from the stellar domain genius battle, withstanding terrifying impacts under the aurora flush of the starry sky waterfall, while cultivating, one master spoke up. Placed in this second competition round is the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound, consisting of 36 volumes. I wonder who among us can receive all 36 volumes completely, and who can quickly cultivate to a profound level. One divine master shook his head and said, to receive all 36 volumes completely, one needs to have an absolute compatibility with the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. From the moment the divine sound inheritance begins, one must comprehend it fully. Even many divine masters of our ancestral god temple cannot receive all 36 volumes completely upon first contact with the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. Even though all 36 volumes are placed in this second round of the competition, I'm afraid these young talents won't be able to receive them all. Cultivating to a profound level, that's even more impossible. According to the speed at which the impact of the aurora flush intensifies, possibly 90,000 from each realm will be eliminated, and this second round of competition will be over in just an hour. In such a short time, don't even think about cultivating to a profound level. Even completing the first 3 volumes after receiving the divine sound would be extraordinary. Completing the first 6 volumes would definitely indicate a genuine genius worthy of attention for our ancestral god temple. As for the profound level starting from the 10th volume, likely no one can cultivate to that in such a short time. The words of this divine master made other divine masters nod in agreement. The Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound is a renowned cultivation technique of the ancestral god temple, and these divine masters are very familiar with it, having all cultivated it. The divine masters believed these talents in the genius battle couldn't fully receive the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound, nor cultivate to a profound level, but a cosmic emperor smiled and said, "Maybe not." Since Lord Yuan Wu specifically instructed to watch this stellar domain genius battle, it signifies the unusual nature of this battle. Perhaps, Lord Yuan Wu has perceived that a world-shocking genius will emerge this time. Perhaps someone truly will surprise us. In any case, whether receiving the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound or completing certain volumes in cultivation, special signs will manifest, and we'll understand when the time comes. After the Cosmic Emperor finished speaking, his gaze turned to the competition areas of true gods, divine kings, and divine venerables, looking at those who were resisting the maximum impact of the Aurora Flush in the 3 realm areas. Others also nodded, directing their gaze toward the competition areas. Everyone was anticipating the end of this second round, eagerly awaiting the revelations of the talents' gains. Below the starry sky waterfall upon the competition platform, Yi-chun was receiving wave after wave of divine sound inheritance, feeling increasingly amazed as he received more. Eventually, Yi-chun even fully unleashed the defensive power of his eternal god body, letting it withstand the impact of the starry sky waterfall, while his entire mind and spirit focused entirely on comprehending the divine sound inheritance. 18th volume, 23rd volume, 35th volume, 36th volume. Heavens, this Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound has been inherited to me with so many volumes of content. Yi-chun felt he had been receiving the divine sound inheritance for a very long time, and only after the inheritance completely disappeared, he directly sensed that his mind was filled with all 36 volumes of the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound Cultivation Technique contents. 36 volumes. I wonder if it's the complete contents of this cultivation technique. Yi-chun thought to himself. Yi-chun discovered that the volumes appearing in his mind were only roughly perceptible during the inheritance. When the inheritance ended, only the first volume was fully accessible, while the remaining contents were directly locked. It seemed only after he completed cultivating the first volume would the other contents be available for further cultivation. Under such circumstances, Yi-chun didn't know whether he had received the full content of the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound. He could only dedicate his mind and spirit entirely to cultivation, starting from the first volume. As Yi-chun immersed himself fully in cultivation, in the Divine King area where he stood, many were still in the process of receiving the divine sound inheritance. 18 volumes. Heavens, this Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound has as many as 18 volumes. With so many volumes of content, it seems I probably received the entire cultivation technique. Even if I didn't fully receive it, I probably got the vast majority of it. A divine king had received 18 volumes of the divine sound inheritance, already overjoyed. 25 volumes. Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound has 25 volumes. 32 volumes. I wonder how much others received, but I've received 32 volumes of the cultivation technique. All the divine kings couldn't sense the fortune obtained by others, only experiencing their own gains. Not only the strongest batch of people in the divine king area received this fortune from the second round of competition. Within the true god and divine venerable areas, the strongest batch of true gods and divine venerables also received the Great Sun Pitha Divine Sound inheritance, while resisting the maximum impact of the Aurora Flush.